can't do that to him. As game 3 now, properly underway. Tie series between both. This will be for the lead in that series. Matt will be able to get the flip reset. Can he get around 2? No, Garrett gets the perfect 50.
Garrett's still a little bit awkward here in the corner. T-Corell will have to take over. Able to get this one into the sky, but doesn't have a lot of boost to work with, so instead it's Percy to take this shot. Denied by Gyro. He's been pretty electric today on both sides of the pitch, and that's a huge buff for WVU, considering yesterday they had some, I'd say, awkward goals that didn't need to go in. They've been able to quell that so far, but the offense still here for Winthrop. They are unrelenting through the first minutes.
A bit too speedy in the cross, but it seems like they're handling it in stride, stealing boost as they go along, but forcing WVU to expend as much resources to prevent any shot lines from coming across. T-Corell not able to handle it in the midfield, so Percy's going to have to play back, and he does. Gyro puts it up high. No one from WVU challenging. That is, at least in the earlier games, one that you would typically see WVU make an attempt for, especially that's how we saw Garrett G get a bit awkward because WVU would just dive in so quick with no care in the world. So WVU making a change to the strategy, trying to slow things down a little bit to match Winthrop's pace.
Not a bad idea. My only concern is that the boost totals are starting to go fully in favor of Winthrop as a result of this bit of slower pace. This patience that we've seen from both teams is more typical of this Winthrop team. That's how they played a lot yesterday, and it's how they played through the last split as well. So WVU, maybe don't give up on that speed advantage you had. You are definitely the faster-paced team, and at times that can be beneficial. They haven't conceded yet, though, so it definitely has improved their defense, but still plenty of time for either squad to find the first goal here, and it definitely feels like Winthrop have still been in the driver's seat. A bit different from the last couple of games, and not really sure about that decision. It'll work out.
Percy.
They won't concede, but we get to halftime with a bit of chaos starting to emerge.
I think Winthrop, they're starting to get a bit frazzled by just how much they've been put on the back end. Tool's going to put it up high, tries to go for the bump, and Gyro, no boost to speak of. Just kidding. He does have his boost now. Goes in, no problem. The T-Corell puts it through. Matt. T-Corell, a little bit awkward. Tool playing so close to that goal line he needs to. Still scoreless after half a game. Who will be the first one to fire the first shot? That is the question. And at the moment, it looks like it might be WVU. It looks like they've really changed the pace here. They're getting better challenges, especially in getting to the ball quicker. Could be them, but I'm scared for any result. Actually, this could be it. A nice flick, but Matt gets the challenge.
Understandable decision there from T-Corell, but I don't think he recognized Garrett was already chasing. If he puts that one bottom left, there's no way the defender gets there in time. Coulda, woulda, shoulda type of moment, but it's clear the coordination for Winthrop is here. If they get one good opportunity, we'll probably do the most with it. Could it be this? Percy, no reset in the bag, but can flick it around one. Not around Tools. He'll pop this one back out to midfield. Garrett G gonna be the one to take over as T-Corell just lets him go with it. And it's even more offense here for Winthrop, and in a 2v1. Matt's been pushed to the backboard, so Tool has to bail him out, and that's the big difference. The physicality of Winthrop are going for is pushing players out of net, but WVU have made the adjustment. They're going to the backboard and getting prepared to stop the double touch or the pass every single time.
Yeah, we saw Percy even trying to take the defender out of play as well with a bump and demo. It's just, unfortunately, they're having a hard time matching that WVU pace, but the Winthrop solution right now to pace is to implement, like you said, the physicality, trying to just force WVU out of positions so that at least the ball opens up and they can get better challenges. But with 1 minute remaining, it might be the death nail. Whoever scores next, considering the pace of this game and the scoring cadence, T-Corell puts it in the corner, gets control, looking for Percy, but the defenders are too strong right now.
Garrett's quick to it, though, and he'll get it to the backboard where Percy can keep the play going. Garrett can look for the bump again, and T-Corell, he won't even need the bump. Nobody back in time. WVU finally buckle under the pressure.
Finally. It felt like it took forever, especially off of probably a brief miscommunication from the WVU side to see who's going to go for that challenge. 39 seconds, Winthrop have the lead. WVU, they've been so close many times in this game now. Will they be able to match?
That loosen the tank and a reset on the way. We'll try and save this for the last second, and it'll not get anywhere further than the corner. G now with the counterattack in mind, and the double towards center. I think he was trying to look for a back pass to Percy, but he actually gives it to Matt, who can look for the bump, able to get it, and Gyro will finish the job. All that effort through the first 4 minutes, and all it took was another 30 after the first goal.
That's all it took, but so much of this was because of Matt getting in there, getting the full tank, outpacing the rotation, and Gyro doing exactly what he needed to do. 17 seconds, tie game. Will we see another overtime? It remains to be seen, and Percy wants to end it all. It's in a dangerous position. Garrett G's going high. It will be knocked away. T-Carell keeping it in play for Winthrop, but it'll be knocked away. Percy, no boost to speak of. This could be dangerous, but there is no boost for the Winthrop side. Garrett G finally gets part of the tank. Matt, the dangerous player on the field for WVU, but it's going to overtime.
I thought Gyro had that one up. He gets it perfectly on the top of his car. It just doesn't roll favorably through the corner, and instead we get to yet another OT. It was OT game 1 where West Virginia were able to take their first here in the series, and now a chance for them to get the lead in the series and send themselves to series point. Like we said, it's a big matchup for both of these guys. Being able to find that series point early gets a lot of pressure off your back, especially if you're Garrett G in a 1v1 versus Tool. No boost in the tank, and he still makes the save.
Winthrop just have to be careful with the boost management right now because they're finding themselves getting choked out by WVU. Same thing that happened in game 2. And with this one, if you're going to let WVU get into this game, you need to match them pace for pace, or at least get them out of the board and implement those demos as much as you can. Gyro. Ken, the captain of this team, gonna play it slow. Garrett G reads it, no problem.
Took a while to get to that one. Again, we've talked about the patience here from Winthrop. It's been beneficial to them at many times, but at other times it's it made us clutch our pearls a little bit nervous at some of the attempts that have been made, and nervous at that one. Tool, not the touch he was looking for, and definitely not the touch Matt was looking for either. The first bit of defense required from WVU in overtime, and I would not say they are passing with flying colors. They do get the bump there and are able to alleviate some pressure, but this is where WVU might need to be a bit careful. They've been so forward-focused on their offense
Tool's
that
got nothing.
if a good counterattack comes through, it could be a problem, just like this one. Percy there to the backboard it goes, and no rebound found. Garrett G will wait a second, but you're starting to see it. WVU are not infallible.
Yeah, I mean, but Winthrop, like, they had so much in the tank to make that work, but they decided to just reset anyway, play super passive. That's a demo that comes through. Is it gonna lob in? No, it will hit off the back wall, but WVU in the driver's seat. Gyro gets an okay challenge. Just gonna go over to the right side. Still though, Winthrop have to be careful, especially now that WVU are starting to get physical. They're starting to get antsy. They recognize we need to end this game now. We want a chance at this series. This is our chance to really prove that we can be a contender, that yes, yesterday was just a bad day, but it is on them.
Chance here now with Tool with a ton of boost in the corner. Garrett recognizes that and will take away the threat before it can even develop and even clear the lines. Everybody's got boost for West Virginia on the backside, but it does mean Winthrop can at least take a sigh of relief for a moment. Block there would have been huge had Tool had any bump on him, but instead, Tool pops this downfield. It is off target, and T-Carell was back anyways, but again, you can see it. Tool, he has been the star-studded striker for this team, but who's going to be the defender? Matt, able to dodge the bump and get yet another save.
No, but the main thing from that challenge from Tool was it got around 2 defenders and it allowed WVU to completely reset. Just basically, all right, get off me. We're going to relax for a second. We're going to get our bearings right, and then we're going to go on the attack as Tool is trying to show us right now. Percy doesn't get the demo onto Garrett. So Gyro will try and solo. T-Carell goes for the challenge. This might be a bit awkward. Matt has to go in, does get the demo. Tool, ton of boost in the tank to make this work. 3 minutes of overtime, and I feel like we just started, Bass.
I don't think this overtime's ending anytime soon. It's going to take a risk for one of the two.
Don't jinx it.
I've got a knack for this, so I will admit that sometimes it's going to happen right here, isn't it? Never mind. Percy off of the respawn. There was a chance, but I do feel like it's going to be based off of a mistake. Both teams are playing very carefully right now. You can see the pace is still there for WVU, but it's definitely broken down a little bit as to not make a mistake, to not double commit like we saw that gave up
like
the
we
goal
just saw Winthrop do.
Game. Yeah, Winthrop did double commit, but at least they make the save. So again, it's going to come off the back of a bit of an awkward play. I don't think it's going to be sheer force. The only way it would be is through physicality, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can see WVU, they're trying to implement that more, especially on the offensive end, or at least take riskier challenges. That's a redirect, and it's in! Percy! What a beautiful 1-2 pass from Winthrop to take the lead in this series.
I just don't think they thought he was there.
Banger!
It's not as if they
my
had time to
goodness!
challenge, but it's just this Percy lurk in the corner. He steals the boost. The pass is there. It's perfectly coordinated from Garrett G. And honestly, props to Garrett, recognizing the player downfield, cherry picking. I said game 3 would be where he popped off, but it's been the whole series. In my opinion, Garrett is carrying this Winthrop squad.
Again, 566 MVP for Winthrop. Garrett G bringing out the backpack for this one, but Percy, what a slot, what like just pitch awareness from Garrett G to be able to get this through. And frankly, it's not as if the defense from WVU was bad for that one. It was just they were set up for a completely different kind of approach to offense from Winthrop. They had a man slightly far forward. In this one, you can see Tooley's right there. Matt even went up for it, but it was just a touch too late and he couldn't get the angle. Fantastic way to end that overtime. And Winthrop, they're in the driver's seat for this one. Will WVU be able to match?
Watching back, there was a chance, I feel like, for Tool to make the challenge, but this is where we kind of talked about the pace of play potentially being a problem for West Virginia. They're so forward-focused on their offense that they will dive in without really a care for their boost totals. All of a sudden, you find Tool traveling back, not any boost in the tank, doesn't really have the time to make the challenge due to that, and it kind of leaves them in an awkward position where that pass and that shot is possible. So for West Virginia, I get it. This full send attitude is definitely something they should continue on with. We've talked about their pace being one of their biggest advantages in this series, but they do need to be careful. Again, we've talked about it. Winthrop like to dictate the pace of play. They will force you to play slow, and if you give them just even a moment, they will send you packing. They could do that here on Neo Tokyo. A 2-1 lead here from Winthrop to potentially only even out their series, or their season. They would only be 500 if they get this win.
I know, exactly. I feel like both these teams are playing so hard for what is just kind of the midway point right now and just trying to stay above water. Game 4 here between these two teams, both fighting for so much. It really does feel like more than just a regular league play match at the moment. So, with West Virginia on the back foot, T. Corral, good touch, gets over one. It's going to waterfall down. No one gets the read, but Winthrop will try and keep this in play. Garrett G stalking, shadowing, looking for his opportunity, as he often has in this series.
I would like to point out that as much as we're talking about Garrett kind of being that facilitator, being that guy in just multiple moments and on multiple parts of this pitch, he hasn't necessarily been a huge offensive force. It's more been second man that he's been so important as. He's made a lot of good saves. He's made a lot of good challenges out of midfield.
And wicked smart, bro.
I mean, yeah, but also, like, that's the style that he's trying to play with very intentionally. You can see it from just letting Percy and T-Prel dive at the ball repeatedly while he's there if necessary. Great example is he does finally get his first shot after about 6 minutes of time, and it's a good one. It's due to T-Corral's challenge, it's due to some open space, and that is another good challenge. Winthrop starting to get more comfortable in this series, which I think is probably a concern for WVU.
A little bit, especially if Winthrop are starting to get a read on how WVU are rotating and how they're playing the midfield like that, then it's going to be a problem. Matt has to play careful. Tool will take Percy out of play, but it's just going to allow a bit more of a reset for WVU. Matt will take it down. Percy gets the read. More aggressiveness coming out from Winthrop, and it's proving that they are finding their comfort zone. You mentioned that the adaptation that Winthrop can bring as it gets a little bit dangerous there for Winthrop.
I don't love the double commits, but I also didn't like the double commits when WVU were doing them either. Not a fan on either side, but it hasn't necessarily gone punished yet. Hold on now, Matt trying to make me eat my words, and Percy will barely be able to make the save. Garrett G bumped off the ball, but it's a bit awkward now for Matt as he's the last one racing back and has to try to buy time for his teammates. He does perfectly, and Gyro, although not able to extend this play, is at least able to push downfield and give his team a bit of reprieve and a shot on target. Garrett G, once again, an MVP caliber performance continues.
The just continued defensive work from Garrett G. Pre-flip all the way for that one. Matt, this could be dangerous, especially if Gyro continues to disrupt. Classic Gyro if he's able to make that work. Tool, halfway point, still scoreless. An exact mirror of the previous game. Matt tries to put it on. Beautifully saved by Garrett again. Trying to be an MVP on both sides of the pitch. Continues to work out for Winthrop, single-handedly really keeping Winthrop in this individual game, saying, nah, we're going to end this one here, despite Tool putting on a second touch right in.
I will give some credit to Percy as well. And to the goal that will get scored! You know what? I was just about to say, Percy's technically having the better defensive performance, but Garrett goes, what if I get the only goal thus far?
And Gyro backflips for that. You could see he just broke his neck just like, huh? And as he stares the ball going straight over his head. 1-0 here for Winthrop. Now the clock starts ticking for WVU. Will they be able to manage?
Pass back out and potentially a second goal on the way here for Winthrop. Garrett G, yeah, again, something has ignited. This guy's starting to get more involved in offense, and as soon as we called the end of game 3 into 4 being him more defensive role, he has corrected us quickly because he is getting involved in every attack. Decarel trying to do the same. A touch to the backboard will not get any further than that, but more offense building, more physicality causing problems. Tee off the backboard, leaves it for his teammate Garrett. A good, I was going to say a good fake to force the 50, but now it's led to a counterattack. Gyro tries to pick the pocket, and once again, Percy, he's taking over that defensive role in this game. His 5th save in 4 minutes.
I just feel like WVU are starting to lack the creativity that we saw in earlier games to get themselves on the board. There's very little passing going on as far as goal line passing. Nice demo attempt there from Gyro, but it's just not finding its mark. Last minute of gameplay could potentially be the end for this series if Winthrop take it. WVU scrambling to try and make that not happen.
Decarel, 1v1 versus Matt. He's going to lose it pretty quickly, but again, the more time they waste here is all that is required. They do not need to score another, but also WVU are kind of helping them out. These heavy touches to the backboard and to the midfield are just not doing anything for them. You talked about it. A lack of creativity has taken away a lot of passing options and taken away the second man as well. Usually we would be seeing somebody from WVU crashing immediately. Instead, with 15 to go, they're still even trying to figure out how to develop a play, and Garrett's trying to figure out how to punish off the far and out, but Decarel still there. The double not on target.
A little bit too close for comfort for WVU, but your last chance at this one. The pass goes wide as Percy gets a touch on it. Winthrop will be able to take this one. WVU fall. Beautifully played from both teams. 1-goal games each, but Winthrop will take the win.
A lot of good performances from every player on Winthrop, and I think that is what gets them the W in the end there. We talked about how yesterday was the tool show. It wasn't necessarily a show for any of the players in WVU. Not a bad performance from any of them either, but you could clearly tell there were individuals stepping up in every single one of the games for Winthrop there. In game 2, it was game 2 and 3, it was very clearly Garrett. You get into game 4, and it's clearly the Percy show. 5 or 6 total saves. That man was electric on defense, and that's the problem with Winthrop, is that they're 3 very good players, and if any 3 of them decide to play at their max level, good luck to whoever is playing them.
I mean, again, we just look at
6 saves.
We just got to look at the man on our screen here, like Garrett G, my goodness, but also Percy. Yeah, defensive masterclass from him. 6 saves, absolutely stonewalling West Virginia, which is again, we see and we look at Winthrop, we're like, this isn't just like a team. This is a team of all-stars. Every single member of this team has that capability to pop off on both ends of the pitch. And we saw that. Decarel was getting as aggressive as ever, trying to go for the stylish stuff, trying to go for the individual plays. Garrett G, a perfect facilitator and offensive scorer himself, and being a fantastic defensive player. And then Percy just being where he needed to be and doing a great job at it. This is Winthrop at least able to contend for the top 3.
Oh, absolutely. This reinstills a lot of confidence for me. I think we had some questions about this team. Not only victory over West Virginia, but 3-1, really putting them in their place. I think reinstills a lot. I
feel bad, though, because this was like, WVU didn't look bad here, realistically.
But also, like, you're WVU. You can't start the season off 0-3.
I know exactly. It's like, it's a shame, because I feel like this is a WVU that's also starting to find a bit of its form back. And then they go up against Winthrop and they're like, oh, we didn't play bad at all, but Winthrop just played better. And it's 4 1-goal games in a row. It's brutal. CRL can be brutal.
It can be, and it's only going to potentially get worse for West Virginia from here on out. In order to make it in the playoffs, they basically need to win out. The only good thing is they have faced Concord, Northwood, and Winthrop. Those are 3 of the top teams in the league. So if they want a chance at a rebound, it's technically on its way. They also have to face St. Clair. All right, so maybe a little bit more of a difficult road for them than anticipated, but it's been a pretty good day already for Winthrop. It's not the last time that we're going to see this team throughout this split, but we'll get a little bit of insight when we return. We're going to go to a quick break. When we get back, we'll speak to one of the Winthrop players and continue on with our CRL Sunday.
Put the car and drive, another lonely night, don't know what to do. Finally see what it's like going out every night when it's not with you. I see you whipping down a 4-5. It was December, it was you and I can't remember how to feel alive without you. I wonder what I was saying. times are changing, the games we played went away for the day, but you hated me for everything. Yeah, I would do it all again if the clock restarted, knowing it'll end with us broken.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Collegiate Rocket League. Of course, we have an interview with the one, the only Garrett G after a Winthrop victory. Garrett, talk me through that series a little bit. You guys were on the back foot, especially when it came to shooting, getting those shots done, just really prioritizing defense and doing a lot of those transitions. So tell me, what was the mind of the team?
Yeah, I don't know if that was really the goal going into it, but I think the first time we played them, it was like that too. They're really good at getting on offense. But I think last time we kind of did the same thing where the defense felt pretty comfortable, so we just kept rolling with it, and it kind of worked out. It was one of those series where it didn't feel, some series when you're stuck on defense like that, you're like, wow, this is rough. Like we can't get out. But that felt like a little bit more comfortable defense, if that makes sense. I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's how it felt.
No, I normally compliment you guys on your fundamentals. You're already so solid on rotations and the touches and making sure your 50s are very solid. I was just surprised because WVU did feel very mechy today, and that was a lot to handle. I know I looked Percy, even in that last game, had 6 saves all by himself, so it really did come down to the wire a lot with these overtimes. Talk me through the overtimes as well. Were you guys looking for a certain strategy? Were you adjusting in that period? Were you just playing the same? We had a lot of very close games in this one.
I'd say we were playing the same. I can't remember how many overtimes there was. I know game 1 was one. That game I felt like we kind of gave away a little bit. But no, I mean, same strategy throughout. Honestly, I think we felt good the whole time, even though game 1 was like a little bit passed away. But no, same strategy. It's funny though, because I've always thought that it's like one of Percy's biggest strengths is like his like defense and stuff. So I almost think we're better when like we force, I don't know, Percy ends up being forced in situations. Like he's so clutch on the goal line all the time. So I don't know, honestly, it felt pretty good. It felt a lot better than yesterday overall, for sure. And they're a good team. They're really good at generating offense, like, because they did that to a split 1 too. So I'm glad we got the dub. It felt like a must win because if we had 3 losses, I think it might have been cooked. 3 losses might have been cooked for the top 4. So I'm glad we got that.
Yeah, that actually leads exactly into my next question. You guys are at top during League Split 1. You only dropped 1 series to Northwood. Now starting in League Split 2, you faced kind of the 2 top kings in both Northwood and St. Clair. You dropped both of those games. So you're already at more losses than League Split 1. What is the general mindset of the team? What's the outlook the rest of this split to make sure you guys do make it to the championship?
I mean, I would say I don't think we're too worried. It's kind of a pro and a con. I was saying it's odd. We're number one seed playing 2 top 4 off the rip, but at the same time we got it over with. So, if we're gonna lose the 2 teams, it's better to be those 2 who are probably gonna be top 4 no matter what. And then, in my view, from here on out, it's still in our control because we play Concord today. That's a team we need to knock down. We beat West Virginia. I guess they're 0-3 now, so not really one where it's in the running for top 4, but they still could have made a comeback, went 5-2, so still a big win. But I don't know, it's in our control. I don't think we're too worried. I think we definitely weren't feeling it for the last couple weeks, and it was just bad timing. But like I said, if we're gonna lose, it might as well be to teams that are most likely gonna be top 4 instead of dropping to like a 6th, 7th, 8th seed. So not too worried about it. It's in our control, and I think you'll see us. I think you'll see us in the top 4. I'm pretty confident.
That's good to hear. You mentioned your next game. Is that Concord? Is that the off-stream match that you kind of have back to back? So yep. Concord is another top dog right now. So you really are getting, the top of league split right now at the beginning of the season. So is this win, is it going to propel you forward in this next one? Or you guys seem very confident. So no adjustments to be made right now? You're just keeping steady?
No, yeah, I'm glad because I think the week 1 we only played 1 match, but then yesterday, like when we lost the first match, I was like, oof, I wish the matches were flipped in order yesterday. So I think this is good for us, and yeah, we'll see. I guess I'll let you guys know how it goes. We'll let you know the result.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be keeping an eye out on that. Well, any last words, comments from you? Trash talk, you're normally pretty cool, no trash talk, but anyone you want to shout out while we still have you on the line?
Shout out to the team. Shout out to all you guys working on CRL. You guys, I'm just real quick. I was shocked how committed all the CRL casters are and stuff on Twitter. It's just I constantly see them talking about it. So I think it's cool how passionate everyone is about it. So it makes me more excited to play and a little bit more interested in power rankings and stuff than I thought I would have been. So shout out to all y'all, and yeah, hopefully we see y'all again.
Well, thanks so much for the praise, and thank you, of course, Garrett G. Good luck with your next series, and I'm sure we'll see you again.
All right, thank you.
Well, guys, that
I'm
was
gonna
Garrett
cry.
G. He's always, I know, he's such a gem.
I'm gonna cry.
He's actually such a gem. I think I teared up a little bit, but I had to remain professional. Yeah, he's just a sweetheart. You gotta say he is the lifeblood of Rocket League at times. Like, he's had so many different nicknames, so much history in the scene, and it's nice to see him in collegiate. It certainly brings a lot more eyes to it.
All right, Garrett, you get one bump in my ranking.
Wow. What does he have to do, Seth? What does he have to do?
So you had him ranked number 1. Where's he going? You're just gonna bump him to 0? What does that mean?
Yeah, he gets number 0.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I only did one power ranking this season, but I'll take all the credit in the meantime. So let's talk about the series there. Winthrop was definitely in a must-win. Garrett yesterday said that, hey, look, I believe in my team. It was kind of a bad luck of the draw. Watch us step up and set up. They did. Baz, let me start with you. Are they, Winthrop, actually back?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're back to where it's like number 1 team in all of Collegiate Rocket League, definitively. No, but they are back to where I don't have as many questions. They face a team that is of good caliber. Yes, I understand West Virginia is currently 0-3 as a result of that loss, but we know how good West Virginia is. And the fact that they not only beat them, but did so in 3-1 fashion, I think really does speak to the intensity of that program. It's very clear for Percy, T-Corell, and Garrett, they want to win. They are locked in and they care about what is happening. And maybe this doesn't bump them right back above, say, teams like Northwood and St. Clair, who have taken dubs over them, but it definitely reinstills confidence. And the answer is a heck of a lot of questions we had about this squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Chicks, I want to ask you were crunching numbers in the bag. What was something that stuck out in your mind during this series?
I mean, obviously, it was the shot count difference between WVU and Winthrop. Almost every single game, if I think not every single game, WVU almost outshot them double. So Winthrop is staying on the back foot. A lot of the time, they're holding their defense. As Garrett said, they're very confident on that defense, and he finds Percy shines the most when he has to make those kind of last second saves, but it is a very precarious way to play. You don't want to be on the back foot. I find most times if you are out shooting your opponent, you should be beating your opponent. So I felt a lot of these games, it was WVU's to lose if they had just been a little bit more accurate or been a little bit better off of those transitions after their offensive pressure. So little adjustments need to be made. WVU still is a very strong roster, but Winthrop shows again that their fundamentals and their poise is ultimately what pulls them forward.
I love that word, poise. We got to move on to our next matchup of the evening. It's going to be Oklahoma Christian against Baylor. Oklahoma versus Texas. That never happens in real life. Take a look at these rosters of how solid it is. It's North, G-Man, and Joe.
I don't understand that joke. I'm Canadian.
Okay, imagine Ontario versus Quebec, right? Like,
yes, now you're speaking my language.
And Baylor Anti-Hawks are in JT. So we ask with you, start with you. This right here is kind of like two wild cards going at it. What do you make of this one?
Okay, let me put it this way. I want to try to hype this up more than I think we can, because as much as I do believe this should be an intense matchup, these are two teams that have already faced before, and last time they faced, OC won. In the time after that, these teams have also faced similar squads, and one of them, I think, has pulled far away up the pack than the other one has. Baylor, unfortunately, has not necessarily seen success outside of that Concord win that they took in, I believe, week 1 or 2 of Split 1. Afterwards, both these teams went to the close qualifiers, and although both of them did make it out of the close qualifier, the closest thing we have to compare the two of them is they both faced Davenport to make it back into CRL League play. Baylor, 3-1 against Davenport. OC, 3-0
would be
against
able to
Davenport. So, very marginal differences between the two of them at the moment.
Wow,
He's
marginal.
just staring at himself at the screen. He's just so funny.
I get locked in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Sal, let's take your idea about this, man. Look, Oklahoma Christian and Baylor, they have the potential. We talk about potentials and what that means. Now's the time to really put that potential into actual action. Does Oklahoma Christian today have a path to get that dub in a way that's convincing? And so how would they do that?
I mean, it's such a difficult line because, like, we know that Baylor, I think, are sort of settling into the gatekeeper team of, like, the top 8 kind of area. I think that they are continuously finding themselves struggling against teams who are around their level. And the problem with Oklahoma Christian is, like, we've seen peak level from them before, and is getting a win over Baylor enough to really get them started on a road against some of these top teams? We don't know. What I do know, however, is that this is going to be an entertaining series. These are two teams who absolutely just go off on offense and have a lot of fun playing. And regardless of what happens with this series, I think it's going to be a banger all the way. JT's ready. He's hyped. He's good to go.
Having fun playing Rocket League.
Also,
couldn't
man
be
plays
me.
golf. Love that.
Let's get into predictions.
We love golf.
Bass, I'm going to start with you, man. You said it up and down. Both these teams can, hit the next gear. Who does it first here today?
It's OC. I'm going to be straightforward with this one here, man. I think the heights have been higher for OC. I think the consistency of OC has been better. I think one of the narratives we have painted Oklahoma Christian with throughout this time is that, like, yeah, they're good, but they just keep getting beat by the top 8. All the teams that make it into CRL. Are they of that caliber? They've proven that. I think that the closed qualifier really did show that this is a team that, yes, they might take losses within the top 8, but if you are outside of that top 8, they will dominate you. And while Baylor is within that top 8, they are just on the same sort of cusp, but haven't had nearly the success within CRL league play. Until proven otherwise, I'm backing OC here.
Chicksa, I think you still have the highest percentage of positive predictions being correct. So what do you have in this one?
I have to go with consistency, and that's Oklahoma Christian. Baylor has had a notoriously difficult time in league split. I mean, they showed that they are, again, part of top 8, which is a victory in itself, but they just have struggled during league play, and they haven't shown us otherwise that they have gotten out of that. So Oklahoma Christian, for me, I think has the edge up on this one today, but who really knows? It's CRL.
Seb, I need your prediction, but also who would win the fight, Ontario or Quebec?
Whoa, listen.
We don't have 40 minutes. We can't start this now.
That's a loaded question, okay? If there's any Canadians in chat, that's a loaded question. Gonna just not answer. It's Quebec anyway. But as far as who wins this match, I'm giving it to Oklahoma Christian. This is a team that, yes, they might lose, but regardless, they'll make it entertaining, and they will make you bleed for it. They will always take a game. It doesn't matter if you're Northwood, St. Clair, or Winthrop, or you're Baylor. Even if they lose, they will always make you bleed for it, and especially against a team like Baylor, where, they're finding themselves more consistent against those kind of upper echelon teams. They're getting more practice against these top teams. That's rubbing off on them. They're continuously getting better. I just don't see a world where Baylor's winning.
You know what? I've heard your sound logic, but I disagree with all of you. I'm going with Baylor, baby, because I'm an agent of chaos. No, in all honesty, Baylor, I do believe in what they have, even though the results have not stand the course of time or any kind of tournament play. I'm hoping, wishing, which is definitely the wrong thing to base a prediction off of, but you can't stop me, y'all. I'm thinking Baylor gets the dub here. I'm just letting you guys know. But the time for talk is over. We're about to head on to the pitch. It's 2 wild cards, 2 agents of chaos. It's Oklahoma Christian against Baylor. This one here may be one for the ages. Like my favorite Canadian caster used to tell everyone in the booth, casters, take it away.
Are you taking my line? Come on, man. I know I'm on the mic here, but I'll take it regardless. It's gonna be a banger match. And yes, the casters will take it away. It's myself and Chicksa on the mic. Let's get into it.
I'm so excited for this one. Nonetheless, Baylor always tends to prove you at least a little bit wrong, or Hoxer has some sort of clippable moment. You gotta shout out the guy. He ends up making great plays during the game, but again, it's been the consistency as a unit that has been continuous struggles for Baylor. As for Oklahoma Christian, we've seen a lot of consistency across the team. We'll see really who comes out on top in this one, especially at the beginning, of really chasing to getting some momentum started.
The main thing with Baylor that we've continuously seen them struggle with is the implementation of JT in the roster. Oh my goodness, Andy sneaking this one underneath. Beautiful work from Baylor to open this one up.
Yeah, it's the control of both Andy and Hoxer at times that surprises you. He outbeats two people underneath one against another on the wall. His control, again, just flawless in that moment.
So buggy stole my line. I feel like the Robin Williams of Good Will Hunting. He stole my line. No, I'm kidding. But with this one, back to my point, is like JT, the implementation of it has been so difficult. I akin the DNA of this team very similar to that of Concord, where it's like you have two professional players, two really good professional players at that, and then you have a player who isn't a professional player but is still really solid. And how do you implement a lesser experienced player into the DNA of a team when you have two players who are on such a different tier? That's like been the story and narrative for Baylor, and North will be able to tie this one up.
Yeah, great job by Oklahoma Christian to slowly break down that defense. G-Man does a nice controlled touch to the wall, and Hoxer gets brought in to him. And not only was there also someone else contesting, there's no one left back. The rotations for Baylor are often a little lackluster in that sense. They have to call who's challenging on that play, and someone needs to retain back to just be in control just in case.
We'll see. Tie game now already. Okay, Christian trying to pull out the mechs and with it the control. Hoxer having to go back. G-Man gets the redirect pass over to North, but it ping-pongs off the corner. So incredibly close, but the idea was there. The passing implementation from OK Christian, they know what they want to do. It's about executing.
Everyone's been so mechy today on many of these plays. If it's flip resets, double tap reads, finish here, the demo to boot and Chili to finish off the score for Oklahoma Christian.
The team pinch to completely kill the ball dead, puts it at just a gimme right in front of Chili. G-Man gets the demo just for good measure. Unlucky, but we're OK Christian. That gives them the lead. Baylor gonna have to work from behind. Off win from the Baylor side. The fight for it in the midfield. Hoxer goes in, just completely whiffs, and now you can see Andy getting hard chased. The pinch comes through off the post. A little bit too close for comfort for the Baylor side.
But again, it's these rotations for Baylor that I'm concerned about. The challenges, as you mentioned, the last goal, mainly due to a double commit. No one calling that ball definitively themselves. This one sneaks out, though. Chili to send it away, and now we have a quick transition. No one back for Baylor just yet. Andy trying to buy time, and JT successfully gets it off the post, but this shot almost perfectly top left corner. Deflection here, a demo here. This one off the backboard, and JT to touch it away. But Baylor, for now, they have a little bit of boost to work with, a little bit to move forward. Another demo through, and this one poked away. Baylor continuing to stay on the back foot.
Okay, Christian just playing so physical. I can imagine it just being so frustrating to play against when you have always that first man going in, trying to dive in. North puts this one on straight to Hoxer's hands. G-Man gonna have to dive up to prevent any more damage in transition. JT takes North out of play, but that'll basically just reset him onto the defensive end. North sends it downfield. Chili, no boost to speak of, but slows it down, which will give an opening here for OK Christian to settle down a bit.
Hoxer a good 50, tries to get it out to Andy in midfield. That one doesn't get connected. North now winning this 50. Does he have another JT there instead? Andy sends it away. G-Man last back. Good touch here by Hoxer, but it's off the mark. JT to finish, and Hoxer enough in the way to give Baylor the tying goal.
This is just a fantastic shot in transition. G-Man, last man back, no boost to speak of. North was already way too far back, and Hoxer makes it possible. Great shot from JT, back to a tie game between these two.
This is what we expected, a little bit of back and forth between the two. Both teams trying to figure things out. Who has the hot hand today? Who's feeling mechy? We've seen a little bit of it. And as you've mentioned, a very physical match. This one here might be enough for North. Tries to win the 50, but can't do it. Can't find that final push forward for the lead, so we go back to neutral territory. This one dangerous in front of net, and it is deflected away by G-Man. Transition for Oklahoma Christian. The shot blocked by Andy. Chili, one last touch off the ceiling. Still no finish for Oklahoma Christian.
I swear, to anyone who wouldn't know better, you would think that OKC are just like ball chasing. But in this case, Hawkser puts it through to give Baylor the lead, punishing OKC for overcommitting.
You're correct on that, since they are in almost ball chasing mode. When you see them go back onto defense on that transition, they're all rotating ball side, which is very negative to not be where you have to be on the ball. No one went back posts, no one was ready to be on defense because of it, and Baylor took the opening and they ran with it. Now they have a lead with just over a minute, well, under a minute now left on the clock, and Oklahoma Christian has to make an adjustment. They have had more shooting opportunities, but they have yet to be more consistent to actually finalize any of them.
I'm tilted. JT's using the lawnmower sound, so I can't switch to him anymore. But 30 seconds left. Lead for Oklahoma Christian. This could be dangerous. North's in an awkward spot. He's going backwards. OKC have to work from behind now properly, but Baylor doing a good job at mitigating any pressure, keeping it in the midfield. G-Man cuts in. Chili, this could be dangerous. G-Man's going for the demo, but the challenge gets over North's head. This one's done. Beautifully played from Baylor.
I think a little bit of a miscommunication there. I
just don't
like
think North
going
saw
for the
Hawkser.
demo. Yeah, I like going for the demo, but he also kind of just left the ball. And I don't feel like North was close enough to the ball yet to get the challenge.
He was definitely waiting, I think, to like get everyone through and be like, okay, we need to clear space. This is a 3-man commit right now. But you're right, it was definitely way too slow. Well, hold on.
Yeah. Potential. I don't think it'll end up going on through. And you know what? Oklahoma Christian took risks. Those risks did not work out for them this game, but I give credit where credit's due to be trying at this point. You know, it's nice to see some creativity, but hopefully we see, again, more consistency, which is what we credited them for earlier in this next one.
I mean, this is just part of the DNA of Oklahoma Christian, where they will take those risks. Will they pay off? I don't know, but you know, at least it's fun. And will we win a game? Probably at some point. Like, it's why you see so many of these wild score lines that Oklahoma Christian have, because they do commit so much. They really put everything they can into being as aggressive as possible, regardless of if they get scored on or not. And this is a great example why. I mean, how many shots did Baylor score in transition, or just off a slight fumble from OK Christian?
Yep. It was, again, the rotations that we mentioned a lot, heavily on ball side or committing everybody to the ball. Again, risks that can be taken, but they do need to be executed better. If you are going to be committing all through in a play because you think you can find a demo, you better get that goal, or else, again, it's never going to work to your advantage. So maybe the adjustments next game will work out in favor for Oklahoma Christian. I am liking what I'm seeing from Baylor. They had a couple of double commit issues, at least earlier in the game, but they seem to have settled down. And as soon as they settled down, got that confidence going, we saw that work out to their favor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that with OK Christian, they'll be able, usually game one is like a gimme. It's like, okay, this is their download game, and then they kind of get dialed in. The question is usually after that is whether or not they downloaded enough. Have they downloaded enough gigabytes of data of their opponent to be able to make a proper adjustment? But if Baylor are coming out with some decent midfield control and just punishing Oklahoma Christian in the holes, then I think it could be a good series for them. Regardless, game 2 underway. Forbidden Temple, Baylor series lead.
Yep. All eyes are on Andy, who had control of that ball, did manage to do a lot of really great plays in the last game, just due to his consistency with control. JT staying up on this one, maintaining pressure. Andy off the wall, cut by G-Man. North also committed. These are the communication issues that we were talking about earlier. Hopefully those get cleaned up, but for now, that ends up working out on some clears. Andy just being bumped away, but 2 people on that ball. Hawkser has boost to work with time. Pass over to Andy, far down, and doesn't go on in for Baylor.
But this is good for Baylor. They're getting that creativity on the offense. They're playing quicker. They're not allowing these teams to just roll over them. They're trying to be more assertive, especially with their 2 frontmen, right? With Hawkser and Andy getting involved. Still scoreless though, but a great start to this game.
A miss here off of the read,
hey.
and yep.
My bad. Caster Chris all the way, but it is what it is. JT, hard read. G-Man will punish.
Is it a hard read though?
Well, okay, I'm being nice. Okay, I'm being nice.
Okay, I like to be nice too, but also realistically, at the level they're playing, that needs to be a must read.
It is, and just like that, we have a 2-0 scoreline for OK Christian.
Yeah. A G-Man, a great touch, a little bit of trickery, and then Chili actually wins the 50, and the ball goes into his car again to go off the post and out. But yeah, Oklahoma Christian, again, taking advantage. They managed to make some trickier plays. They're on the ball almost always, whether or not they should be rotating back or not, and sometimes that gives the advantage on a mistake.
Oxer playing this up high. Going to be able to get it to JT. JT can't get around it for the angle. I think he was playing a little bit too close to the ball. Andy gets around one, gets around two. Hoxer, full tank, going to put this one on. Bump tries to come through, but the shot isn't accurate. JT needs to come through. Chili does for the defensive play. Now Baylor just swarming right now.
Not much boost in the tank for anybody on the side of Oklahoma Christian. They have to rotate back, turtle up. They are getting bumped. They're getting boost stolen. North no read here, but Andy can't find the angle. G-Man has a little bit of boost on that 12 boost pad pickup, keeping it close. A nice little doink off the top of his car. And everyone, even G-Man going into net to bump Andy. They're almost taunting them as if they have boost in the tank to work with, and they didn't have much. But now they collect the challenge.
Careful.
This one off the mark, deflected away, a double commit ends up going to a pinch up field, and somehow Oklahoma Christian go out unscathed.
You see how much Oklahoma Christian is just chasing this ball down, chasing their opponents down to defuse any transition. Baylor are just barely able to outpace it. Has it led to a goal? Not quite, but it's getting closer and closer. That's what OKC needs to be worried about.
Yeah, they are risky, like to a T. You cannot say otherwise, but they have continued to be persistent on the ball, and that is just opening up opportunities. Not prepared for it is Baylor, and just like that, they again take another opportunity.
So, yeah, that was rough, but a great attempt from G-Man to put this one on. Baylor working from behind now, and it's just these little mistakes that are poking through that is converting into disastrous errors. 2 minutes remaining, Baylor down by 3.
You know, it almost is working out to a disadvantage for Andy and Hoxer to have professional experience, because Oklahoma Christian are almost the epitome of what people like to joke around as collegiate level play, or, you know, champ league, you know, stuff like that. They don't play very fundamentally. They don't play what you would consider is like ideal and perfect Rocket League. So that adjustment period for somebody like Andy and Hoxer still feels difficult. Like they haven't fully adjusted to a lot of the bumps in the demos that they're doing, to a lot of the risky challenges they're making, and that's opening up the field for Oklahoma Christian to have the advantage.
JT not able to get around one. I think he also misflipped in that pass attempt as well. Andy, good challenge. Chili. Andy be able to steal some boost as well. Pinch comes through. Great job on the challenges from OKC to be able to keep them in it. North whiffs. Chili going to put a shot on instead. Andy gets there, and the bump just slightly delayed from Oklahoma Christian. But again, you see the creativity they're pulling out, getting physical, getting speedier as well. They're just outpacing Baylor right now.
Yeah. A good touch here for Hoxer. Andy off the ceiling, tries to find another but can't keep with the ball. North to keep it close, does find the 50 with Hoxer. This one deflected into midfield. Chili has an open net to work with. That will sink on in, and for a lead, it's a pretty definitive one at this point in the game.
Yeah. I think this is the third goal that's in that bottom right corner too. An absolute magnet right now for Oklahoma Christian, and Baylor just leaving these little pockets open. Also, I think they're getting really punished by their challenges. The challenge game is not working out for them right now, and it's going in very scary directions. Hoxer gets the flip reset over one, but can't get the bump on G-Man. 30 seconds remaining, and at this point, it's done and dusted. This is Oklahoma Christian all the way, tying up the series. Will make it an entertaining one at that.
Yeah, I expect the back and forth to go between these two. This one, heavily went in the favor of Oklahoma Christian early, and it felt like it was just a catch-up game for Baylor that they could never catch up to. So, of course, more shots needed on the board for Baylor, adjustments defensively, more challenges to be won as well. But for the rest of this one, Oklahoma Christian, you're correct, they tie up the series and make it that much more interesting.
And a dominant one at that, too. I mean, listen, we might say, oh, there's some challenges that went a little crazy. There was some balls that just went in different directions. But no, this was OK Christian capitalizing on errors, capitalizing on poor defensive rotation from Baylor. And it's one of those games where you see the aggressiveness from OK Christian, how close they like to play to that goal line, how close they like to play these rotations. You see it pay off. You're seeing it pay off in real time, and they will make you pay for it. Again, we mentioned the score lines before and how much they really kind of define OK Christian. They'll either take a game by 4 goals or lose a game by 4 goals. You don't know which one when you go into it.
Yeah, just because Oklahoma Christian's play style is unconventional doesn't mean it doesn't work.
It's not effective.
It clearly does. Yeah, so they managed to, again, outshoot their opponent. Even though they lost the last game, they still outshot their opponent, and they're getting a lot more opportunities. This is a huge adjustment for Baylor. This is part of the team chemistry that they really need to work, is adapting on the fly throughout a series. Now they have to make adjustments. They have to understand how OKC plays, and I want to see those adjustments in this game in particular. The warm-up period is over. You should understand your opponent by game 3, and we'll see how each team does with those adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, let's just remember that the stakes coming into this for both these teams is the bottom end of the league, and for Oklahoma Christian, this could be the start to something if they're able to get this win, if they can show some consistency against some of these teams, get on the board. It might fare well for the latter half of the season. But for now, it remains to be seen. Will they be able to deal with Baylor, a team that is also struggling on the bottom end? Will they unfortunately fall to the bottom? We'll find out.
Initial touch for G-Man. Ends up getting the demo to boot, and no one can follow up, so he maintains control, only to be 50'd. Lots of space for Chili here. Has Hoxer on the goal line that he needs to worry about, but a double commit between JT and Hoxer in midfield, so the challenge will be late. This one on target, but Andy, luckily back in time, manages to find a save, a bump as well. Doesn't have much boost left. JT up to this one, wins that 50 on target, but again, deflected away. Secondary shooting opportunity isn't there, but they keep the ball on the Oklahoma Christian half.
Chili is chilling, man. I swear that's been the longest amount of time I've seen someone on the corner. Great pass attempt over to North, was playing close. Hawks are able to get the second touch. Andy's going to play it down as well. North, great catch. Can he get over Hoxer? He does. Absolute peak, sending it up North.
Oh, it's gotta feel good to have that sort of control, get past one, and then one-on-one with someone like Hoxer and absolutely perfectly place it when needed off the flick. Great control and showing by North to have that poise and move on forward. Oklahoma Christian on top early in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the moment that I saw Hoxer going backwards, I was like, oh, he's cooked. He's cooked. Hoxer and Andy both diving for the save. Another double commit coming out. Again, the communication just needs to be a bit more on point. So those are the kind of attempts that could really blow this door wide open, especially considering the scoreline of the previous game. Oklahoma Christian looking to be finding their form.
Touch here. Still favoring the likes of JT. Hoxer has a difficult angle.
Wow.
G-Man solid on the line, and still North in the way. No matter what they do, the 50s end up being won for Oklahoma Christian, and they go out unscathed again. How are they managing to stay alive in those opportunities?
I honestly don't know, but Oklahoma Christian is just holding down the line. The defensive rotation is efficient enough to be able to just continuously block it straight at the goal line. Baylor not being given another chance right now. They're like, nah, we're going to send this downfield. We don't want another one of those scary scenarios. Chili going to send it up high. JT going to chase it down, get it over North. So it will be a reset here for OKC. Andy, get anything done. Good amount of boost, though, from the Oklahoma Christian side to let them unleash on the Baylor offense. G-Man getting a demo. JT having to chase this one down, but it's going back and forth.
Yeah, back into the center field we go. Andy doesn't have enough boost to go on it, so back towards the Baylor half this one is. JT, not much boost in the tank, tries to keep it close, won't have enough, actually has enough to deflect. That might be a saving touch to prevent a shot from happening. Chili won't be here quick enough. On transition, G-Man, a great block, no touch until North comes through. Andy low on boost, puts it where it needs to go, but G-Man has boost in the tank. This one off the back wall. Chili a couple extra touches, but can't get the shot on target either. Oklahoma Christian playing a dangerous game, but continuing just the force of coming through. JT down, but North the 50 and challenge to put it on.
Everything and the kitchen sink. Sending so many players in. North, no care in the world that he's last man, just forcing it through with 2 defenders in net. Beautifully done from OK Christian. That is brute force, allowing you to secure an even greater lead.
Definitely one of the most physical teams in league play right now, and they are showing how those challenges can do the brunt of the work at the end of the day. It's unfortunate because JT did manage to find that save in that last play, but I don't know if Andy's touch would have been better off towards the corner. Hoxer, though, has an opportunity here, and sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles.
I think this is just a case of no boost on anyone. North is still rotating back, and Hoxer saw his chance. Great pass as well, but Chili was covering from post. Real opportunity, especially with the boost he had, to be able to make that save. So the insurance will be gone. OKC remain with a 1-goal lead. Chili is going to put this one on. G-Man makes an opportunity, but no one will be able to respond.
Still that buffer goal for Oklahoma Christian, and you know they won't take off the gas. Andy blotted away by G-Man. Hoxer ends up losing control. Chili doesn't have much boost in the tank. 30 seconds left on the clock. Maybe one more opportunity for Andy, and he will execute.
Andy taking the word execute and giving it new meaning. Flip reset over the head of North. 30 seconds where we see an overtime. And now Baylor starting to cook, starting to bring out the mech, starting to outpace OK Christian at times, which is a bit of a rarity, but North looking to solo himself. Chili is going to back off. JT's going to chase down a bump and a demo. G-Man for Chili. OK Christian doing what they can to just try and diffuse the situation, stem the bleeding, and hopefully get a chance for themselves. The redirect goes through. Beautifully done from Hoxer. Might have sealed the deal from this one. This one came out of nowhere.
I have to watch this replay. Hoxer completely all by himself places that. I wasn't sure if it was deflected by someone on Oklahoma Christian as well, but he places it where needed. And just like that, Baylor comes out on top in the very last minutes of play. Not even. I'm pretty sure those last 2 goals came within 30 seconds. This is 0 second mark, but that one touches the ground, and Baylor, they win this one.
They snuck this one for sure. They were looking outclassed the entire game, and then it was just 2 goals in the last minute that basically secured it. One insane redirect from really out of nowhere from a great positioning from Hoxer, and then another beautiful pass over to Hoxer for the finish. Great work from Baylor to keep their composure and just not let this game slip out of their hands.
Yeah, it's just, again, resilience towards the end of the game. We talk about how 5 minutes of gameplay, in regarding to most competitive titles, is small, but in this one it's very difficult to maintain focus and consistency across 5 minutes of gameplay, and at the end of the game Oklahoma Christian just couldn't retain that consistency, and Baylor got a lot of momentum so quickly that they were just efficient on their opportunities.
I mean, that's a good way to put it, is that the efficiency of Baylor. They were really trying to make the best of every single one of their touches. OK Christian was putting so many shots on them. Actually, despite that, you even see that Baylor actually outshot them, which is kind of insane when you look at just how the possession came through. But it really does feel that when OK Christian has possession of the ball, they try and just do so many different things. They hold that possession as long as they could. But Baylor, you can tell, going for a more controlled approach, trying to choke out more, trying to suffocate more. And with this one, we will see Baylor have the lead in the series, trying to get their first win in Split 2, get a W in that column, but can they overcome Oklahoma Christian? Do it, and this is a great start. JT, well timed.
I saw that literally from our pan-out cam right away. JT was perfectly placed and did exactly what he needed to do. Chili had full boost, but he waited for that ball. Instead of going to it, he stayed to try to be patient, to catch it, and it hurt him. And it ended up being another opportunity for Baylor early.
Chili pinch, but no one there to reply, which is funny considering it's Oklahoma Christian. There's always someone there. JT looks for a pass over to Hawkser, but Hawkser doesn't have the angle and width, but Hawkser just trying to keep it in the offensive end.
Chili ends up sending this one upfield. JT, at least keeping it close for now. 50 to come through. Chili wins it, but Andy gets past one. The control past another, but this one flicked up dangerously. No follow-up for Baylor, so they'll have some time to clear up field. JT contesting here. Hawkser doesn't find the touch either. Opening now for Oklahoma Christian on transition. Chili just using his car to block, but it goes down straight to JT, who catches it. Can't flick it in time. Hawkser still upfield. And all that work dissipated by both teams just as fast.
JT tries to get over one, but pace definitely finding its form right now, slowing down a touch. Good catches though, and a really great control though from Baylor. This is just gonna be sent down. JT needs to catch this one off of the waterfall. Can't get the read. Chili will punish.
It's a great effort by JT. He got the first touch, but unfortunately it catches the wrong part of the top ceiling, and just like that, he's out of boost to follow up with it. Again, great to be on the ball for Chili to clean up that play, and we go back to being tied.
JT trying to force it through, but again, it's just a continuous back and forth affair. Completely polar opposite styles between these two teams, which is why, like I was mentioning on the desk before, regardless of the result of this, it's a fun series. Yes, there's going to be mistakes. Yes, you're going to be like, why did you go for that shot? Why did you go for that save? Why did you double commit here? But it's still fun to watch.
Absolutely, and keep in mind, Oklahoma Christian is on the back foot in the series in general. Baylor is up 2-1, so Baylor wins another game, they close it out. It's something that has to be playing in Oklahoma Christian's mind. They can't be as risky as they've been, because it could be just a series loss just as fast as this series started. For now, it looks like they had at least one or two looks at a shot. G-Man retaining control here, has a blocker upfield, but not much more than that. North's touch, kind of dangerous, and luckily G-Man is there first to clear this one upfield, but halfway through this one, and I don't think anyone has clear control of how this game's going.
I think Baylor are starting to see a pattern here. They're actually playing way more patient on the ball, because they recognize that OK Christian is basically going like Unga Bunga, just going for insane challenges all the time without really too much thought behind them. And so they're oh my goodness, that was off the crossbar. The demo's coming through. This is now a dangerous play. Andy doing what he can to just save some time, prevent any more dangerous attempts going through. Still a tie, 2 minutes remaining, but Baylor, that careful approach only lasts for so long when Oklahoma Christian can find that pocket.
Boost steal here for North, so not much in the tank for anybody on Baylor. Hawkser still gets past a lot of the team on 0 boost right now. Manages to find the 50. This one ends up going out. Chili ends up being that blocker, manages to get part of JT. This one though to center is a little bit too late. G-Man, boost pickup here. He'll pick up, in fact, both of them. Has some time to work with off the ceiling, but this challenge for Andy is that much better. All that boost in the tank and could do nothing with it. The shot, unfortunately, off the mark. Challenges still coming through for Baylor. As time keeps ticking off the clock, we're nearing that golden goal territory at the minute mark. All it can take is one more opportunity to finish this one.
JT tried to go for it all here. Just the wall dash to go for the shot. Hawks are going to play the slow, go for the second touch, pass, but no one will be there to receive. JT backs off, but what is this positioning from Oklahoma Christian? They're like, oh, it's in the orange half. Okay, all three of us go. Let's go. What is this? So fun. 30 seconds remaining, and it can go either way at this point.
Chile losing possession. Andy off the corner, has the read dangerously off the backboard, floats this one down, but no follow-up. Yep, bump comes through. Hawkser can't do much with it. JT there, keeps it in that corner. North to send it away, but into the possession of Andy. Andy going high, has boost to work with, waterfall down, no follow-up again. Baylor playing conservatively, but look, they've been able to restart offensive pressure from midfield each and every time. Hawkser touch off the backboard, follow for Andy will go in at 0 seconds, and Baylor secure their first victory of the split.
Baylor finally shows up. Who cares if it was off a fumble? This is them putting it down with authority. Baylor needed this win, and they earned it.
Wow. No overtimes for either of these teams. They don't like to see it. They don't like to watch it. And man, clutch opportunity for Andy, who was so good on his control throughout the entirety of today. He just continued to manage to make plays for Baylor and executed at that 0 second mark. What a win for Baylor.
I really thought that we were going to get another shot. Also, shout outs to Devonta. Great prediction. You know, I get it. That's cool. But as far as how Baylor were playing, it just really felt as though they knew what they wanted to do against Oklahoma Christian. They knew that they had to wait out, let them use their boost, let them go for all the individual stuff that they wanted. We knew that we could just use the boost as conservatively as we want, let them go for their shots. We can punish them in return. Don't freak out. Don't go defensively crazy. Let's just play calm. And that's what they did. This opening one from JT was a perfect example of that. Not rushing any rotations, not rushing their possessions. And Baylor showed that when they do that, they can win.
Yeah, that last defensive effort for Oklahoma Christian, just such a fumble. G-Man doesn't get on the backboard, so he flies into net. There was so much more that both of these teams could have done at times. It was a very mistake-filled series. But at the end of the day, Baylor just rose above that, took the advantage, and I did like the patience that they played in that last one. It was nice to see them kind of taking a breather and really thinking about each and every touch and play that they were about to make upfield, and it's shown that they just had more quality in each opportunity.
And I think it's really going to, I mean, this was a test for them. It was going to be able to keep them out of that bottom end of the bracket or of the league play standings. And through that, I mean, now it's just the entire door opens up for them. Can they continue to play this way against other teams that we have in league play? That remains to be seen, but at least for now, this is a good start. Sucks for Oklahoma Christian, but it was still a fun series. I have no doubt that they'll be able to bounce back against some other teams, but for Baylor, they absolutely needed this win. But for now, we are going to take a short break while we ready ourselves with an interview from the winning team. So don't go anywhere. This is CRL. We'll be right back.
Never thought I'd hear your voice again, and now you're taking up my mind. One spark to ignite the flame, and then it happens all the time. And I'm feeling every little thing you say to me. Wanna wake up and ditch the city. Break out, these walls are caving in, and you're a tidal wave. Yeah, take me back when you said we can do this until we're dead. Just a little bit farther, we're breathing underwater. I'm keeping your heartbeat like a drum. We can be kids out on the run. There's nothing better, I'm just glad we're young together. just a little bit farther. We're breathing underwater. I'm keeping your heartbeat like a drum. We can be kids out on the run. There's nothing better. I'm just glad we're young together. I'm just glad we're young together. Take me back when you said there's nothing better. No oxygen, breathing like this will never end. And your heart beats like a drum. Now I'm glad we're young. Yeah, take me back when you said we can do this until we're dead. Just a little bit farther, we're breathing underwater. I'm keeping your heartbeat like a drum. We can be kids out on the run. There's nothing better. I'm just glad we're young together.
Comes from nowhere, makes you wonder if you lost control. Leaves you breathless, changes what you think is possible. Got me too. Brought me to you. It's got you too. Your magic's true. Your magic's true.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CRL. I've got Hoxer from Baylor here after his win over Oklahoma Christian. First off, gotta ask you how it feels to get the W. This is not only a win for you guys, but it's a run back. You guys lost to them last semester.
Honestly, it feels really good given that that was probably the turning point in our season for last split. So, like, getting our get back always feels good, especially when we feel like we really should have won last time.
I mean, it was close. It was 2-3. You guys definitely did have, a close contest versus them. But it was also, like you said, one of these things where you guys probably feel like you're kind of a step above. You've been a clear step above the rest of the competition. Both you guys did go to the close qualifier and pretty easily made it back to CRL. What do you think it is that kind of separates teams like you, like Oklahoma Christian, a couple of them that are on the fringe from not having, to even battle the close qualifiers and just kind of making it back into this top 8 yet again?
You mean like the difference between being top 4 and being like enclosed?
Kind of the reverse.
Okay.
Being like top 8 and then the rest of the competition, because there's so many other universities that were competing.
I think one thing is probably experience. I mean, you, me, and Andy, who are probably the 2 and 3 in experience for CRL behind Garrett.
Yeah.
So we're not ever going to be nervous in a CRL match just based off of like our previous experiences in RLCS. So we're going to always reliably perform. And for like Oklahoma, I'm not super sure, but they're good players. So I would imagine that's it for them.
Experience matters here. And you've got one player on your team who I think many people have noticed doesn't necessarily have the same resume as you or Andy here. How's it been playing with JT and kind of watching him adjust to CRL and just competitive play in general?
Honestly, it's fun to see him improve, especially because he's kind of like a representation of what we're teaching him. So we feel responsible in making sure he's playing well and making sure he's in a good headspace in these games. So when we see him play well, it does reflect on us, like selfishly, but he's my friend, so I want him to do good, and also we're our team, so that's important to us. Me and Andy, that is.
Yeah, I mean, you guys seem to be good leaders to him. It is definitely clear he has stepped up. A very good player has now become great. One of those guys who made back-to-back splits in CRL, definitely due to you guys and his contributions
and
as
himself,
a whole. And
himself.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a team effort here, and he's not the only person that's had to adjust. This is also your first split in CRL as well. What's it been like versus, competing in RLCS and also with the new format here that we haven't really seen for a handful of years?
Honestly, it's kind of a throwback for me because I started in league play. So having these like week buildups to having a match reminds me a lot of like the pre-COVID days where you would avoid teams for the week before because you're going to play them. So it's kind of nostalgic in a way. But I will say the thing I do not miss about this old format was that you scrim so late at night. Like I get home, I scrim at like 9 p.m. It's awful. I just want to go to bed at that point, man, but it's fun.
Oh, God.
It's good to be back.
Bro, you're speaking my language here. Going to bed at 9 p.m., man. Oh,
Yeah.
it's the best feeling in the world. Probably not as good as feeling, though, as getting a dub in CRL. Again, congratulations to you on the win over Oklahoma Christian. I'm going to let the floor just kind of be yours. You got any shout-outs or anything you want to say to the audience that's watching?
Shout out the team. Shout out the team. That's all I got.
All right, Hoxer, thank you so much for your time here, brother. Good luck in the rest of the split.
Thank you.
All right, that was Hoxer from Baylor University. They get their W, and not only did they get the win, like we said, it's revenge for them. A 3-1 victory over OC flips the script from last semester, and Novanto, with the way that they were playing, this kind of felt inevitable after game like 1 or 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of like topsy-turvy, touch and go for a while, but they found a way to dig deep, and I love how they said, hey, the positive results reflect selfishly on us. I want to have that kind of energy, right?
I think it's cool to see that they have both, though, taken that kind of mentorship approach, though, to JT, because we do often wonder, how much is someone like Garrett G coaching his team? How much, for teams that don't have a very definitive coaching figure, what are the players that have more experience doing to benefit the team? Are they taking a greater role as like an IGL in a game? Stuff like that. There's a lot of little things that you can do. So I nonetheless appreciate that Andy and Hoxer are taking that time to not only improve as a team, but make, small adjustments or coaching changes to JT as they see necessary.
Absolutely. And Seb, let me ask you a question. A lot of these goals came late from that Baylor side. Can making sure they're white knuckling the games. How confident were you that the tide were going to change? Because unlike me, all of you guys got your prediction wrong.
All right, there it is.
There it is. Yeah, I knew you were going to segue into that. I mean, listen, congratulations on the prediction, Devonta. That was well earned. It was well earned. But I think for me, so much of it was just I was holding my breath a lot of the time because I'm like, okay, these matches could go very much like either way, and a lot of them kind of were dependent on different mistakes that Christian made on the defensive end. That being said, I think this was like you mentioned with JT, it is an interesting approach because they're trying to actually integrate them. We've been casting CRL for a long time. We've seen these different teams where you have one like really good or two great players come in and they have to mentor or get another third involved who isn't as good as them, and a lot of the time it's just like sit back as third man, let me just do my thing, right, and I'll just carry us to do something. But you can tell from Hawks' reaction that they're trying to really integrate him and have a role for him, and that's what you saw from JT. He was first man trying to get demos through the board, he was third man trying to get saves on, and when he wasn't working as third man, it was like, okay, let's shift you around a little bit. And that's, I think, where the adaptation from Baylor was starting to really come in, and I really do think that's kind of what won them the series, is finding a role for everyone.
Well, there is no rest for the weary because Baylor is back in action. This time, we're taking on Northwood, a resurgent Northwood that's really shown out in Split 2. You could talk this up and down, left and right, but Chicks, I gotta say, man, I didn't think Northwood was back, but I have been proven wrong already.
Yeah, they have just been sweeping the game when it comes down to it. They have just been beating the likes of Winthrop, beating, the likes of Concord, beating WVU. They have beat, again, generally the upper echelon of league's play, and they have been doing so convincingly. So it's no surprise that Northwood skated very close to not being at the top four. We're able to not have to play the closed qualifier, and just like that, they are now at the top in league play Split 2. They managed to just roll with their confidence, move on forward, and show up and show out when they need to the most.
Yeah, and if you're looking at player cams now, Creams, Hockey, and Zanil. Zanil's been an Octane for the past 2 years. I mean, shout out to him for that. But they seem to be one of the more, how do I say this, cohesive teams when they're on and not when they're not. Bass, walk me through this. Northwood has kind of been topsy-turvy, but this top side seems to be on a whole other level.
I think, honestly, in the best way possible, I think Northwood got an ego check at the beginning of last year, and it has kind of continued up until this year. This was a team that, on paper, was head and shoulders above the rest of the league, continued to be that for a little bit of time, and then very quickly, you saw the Concords emerge, you saw the St. Clairs emerge, you saw the other teams that were of their caliber, and it was a bit of a reality check that, they can't continue to just have this mentality of we are better, we are the best, and head and shoulders guaranteed that way. The good thing is that now that they have had that check, they've found themselves I would say, pretty good middle ground where they are still definitely better than most of the competition. And if they can play above that middle ground closer to their ceiling, the sky's the limit, basically. And that's what they have proven so far here, is they have found that equilibrium, they have found that consistency, and it's put them in a great position. I'm glad to see them back at the very top. It's just probably a painful reality for Baylor that they don't get the version of Northwood we saw last semester. They now get #1 team in CRL, Northwood.
Hey, look, there's nothing that's consistent throughout anything with CRL there, Seb, but a lot of teams that do the back-to-back, the double headers, don't really have the best luck when it's on stream, but Baylor had the chance to do that. Do they have a path to victory, you think?
I look at this, honestly, I see Baylor, they just, they won a match, they're feeling great, they're sprinting along, and they see a big, fat blue wall, and they're just like, oh, no. And, what?
KC? Army Corps?
No, not that blue wall.
That's what I thought you were saying.
The northern blue wall, okay? The North wall, if you mean. No, this is Northwood, just... That was actually great. That was actually really good. No, it was great. Anyway, but Northwood is looking stellar, right? There's no doubt about it. This is the strongest Northwood we've seen in a minute. The question is, right, I have no doubt they're winning the series. I'm going to get that out of the way now. But the question is whether or not this is a flash in the pan for them? Is this Northwood actually being back, ready for the fall championship? Or is this just a flash in the pan? I have it on Creams' word that he's like, he thinks that they are one of the 2 best teams in CRL right now next to St. Clair, and there is no doubt about it. But it's just about taking care of business. Can you beat the teams below you against Baylor? I'm thinking yes, but we will see.
Seb, Todd, officially final answer, locking it in. You got Northwood in the series.
Yeah, yes.
Yes. All right. I gotta make sure. I was waiting for the graphic,
bias.
man. I'm waiting for the graphic.
Listen, absolutely no bias at all.
Baz, tell me you disagree with Seb.
Unfortunately, I can't. As much as I want to discredit the Canadian and the rest of the team, as well as, again, he's having the best start to the split possible.
Really
St. Clair and Northwood at the very top
it's
here.
Awesome.
It's just... Yeah. Anyways, I'm also picking Northwood on this one. Look, I'd be a fool to pick Baylor on this. As good of a team as I do think that they are, I just talked to Hawkster about this. This is a team that's very much on the guard of CRL right now. It is definitive. They are head and shoulders very much better than the rest of the competition, but within the top 8, it's been a bit of a struggle for them. That doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means it's super unlikely, and I think Northwood are going to prove that here in the series.
Tisk. Chatting with Baylor, tell them good job in picking Northwood. How dare you? Nah, I'm just kidding. Jigsaw, what do you think?
This is a Northwood victory. I can't go against the inevitable nature of them being 3-0 at the start of League Play Split 2, and then as well going just... They've only lost 2 games in general. They completely swept 2 of their series, went to 5 with Winthrop, understandably so, and they have just done so well. I mean, you could watch them, or at least we can watch them a little bit, Bass and I, as they warm up in the lobby, and Creams is hitting triple and quad flip resets naturally. He's just that calm and collected and mechy in general that he's so focused and ready to play that he is fully capable in this one.
Can I just say real quick, just one thing? Because someone said Northwood's going to steamroll this match in the chat. No, listen. It's snowing where I am right now. Northwood isn't going to steamroll this. They're going to snowplow this match.
Dad jokes aside, I too agree with you guys. Northwood's going to go on. Didn't want to curse the deaths, but I can't deny that Northwood has shown us in time and time. Snowplow, really? Okay, whatever. And they're doing pretty well. That's my choice here for this one. It looks like it's going to be a victory, pretty emphatically so. But enough for predictions, enough for time for talk. We got to get into our matchup here. And I can tell you what, this is our penultimate matchup of the evening. Northwood, a team that's surprising everyone but themselves. Baylor knows every series has to end in victory. Is the dynasty back or the dubs bigger in Texas? There's only one way to find out, y'all, and it starts right now.
Well, we have inevitably the Kings of CRL in Northwood seemingly back in action against a team that has had its struggles, but they just came out with a rare victory in Baylor. Can they do something that we have almost never seen before when Northwood is truly on their game, is upset now during this split 2?
It would probably be the upset of the season if Baylor can manage this. And this is no disrespect to Baylor by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a bit difficult of a reality to face, which is that you are a team comprised of 2 of, as Hawkster said, the most experienced players in CRL history at this point, but your third in JT is really what everything is going to rest on. If he can keep up with this lobby, sky's the limit for this team. If he does start to get targeted and start to maybe fall a bit behind the pack, then we've got some problems. However, doesn't seem to be problems early. Baylor, a couple of shots, none of them making it into the back of the net, but it's clear they have came to play.
It's nice to see that they are feeling at least somewhat confident after their series win. It's showing in just the type of plays they're even attempting in this one. JT could have cut that one a little earlier, but opportunities very much present for Baylor. Hawkster off of this one can't find the touch, safely going into the Baylor corner, but Andy has boost to work with, and he will slow this play down. Can't get over Hockey's and Neil on this one just as quick, but right now, Cream still staying patient, and Baylor able to hold on defensively.
Hockey trying to look for the drop down to Zanil. He'll get the touch there, but Baylor not even going to challenge, knowing there's not much of an option for a zero boost Zanil. What about a recently boosted Creams? He'll use most of the tank to at least get to the backboard, and Hockey will have to contain out at midfield. Another touch for him potentially, or Zanil just fire one on target. JT will make the save, but it's been a very defensive stand so far here for Baylor. Concerned for how long they can keep this up. Maybe if they break away here, they can alleviate that pressure and start to focus a bit more on their offense.
Zanil, a nice 50 win. JT in the way, has boost. Looks like he might have a blocker, and Hawkster Andy coming through and ends up sneaking at top right corner. Baylor on the board first.
So far, the questions of JT have been answered. A really good pass out center, and it's not just the pass, but the physicality against Hockey that makes that a problem. His touch prevents any touch from the backboard getting interfered with, and all of a sudden, it's down to the last defender, Creams on the line to go for the in-and-out save that he did not have. First strike goes to Baylor. Like we said, if JT can keep up with this lobby, who knows what happens?
You know, I really do enjoy JT being up in the front of play. I think he does so much better. I mean, no shade to his defense, but often he misreads touches. That can be kind of covered up when he's upfield and trying to make a play offensively, but those defensive touches are so much more vital, and Hawkster and Andy always seem to have that clutch read. There's one from Hawkster himself, and for now, Baylor is managing defensively. Hawkster staying on that backboard, managing some boost here. We'll get a 50 even to boot, but the transition for Baylor looking good so far.
I do like that we're seeing not only JT not hesitate in a lot of these plays, but it kind of feels like Hawkster and Andy are giving him that room to work with very intentionally. Like you said, it's really better when he is the forefront of their offense. It gives a lot more room for him to breathe, and also gives opportunities for the teammates to get involved. Hawkster recognizing he buys enough time, JT can take a dive. We'll take another shot on target, and so far, the majority of the offense here in this game has felt like it has gone to Baylor. I'll be real, I did not anticipate that being the case.
No, I didn't expect them to look comfortable, more comfortable than I anticipated, but Northwood hasn't given them a hard time just yet, and they have continued to be on the line. This one by Cream somehow coming through at the very last second transition. Maybe an open opportunity for Northwood, but Andy is there. Hawkster as well, making a save off the crossbar. It'll bounce on out. Northwood still looking, winning 50s. Andy last back. This one for Zanil won't go in either. He does get a boost steal. Off the ceiling, tries to come through. Hockey on the angle, and Hawkster can't find the read. Finally, Northwood breaks through.
As good of a defense as Baylor has had, unfortunately, this felt inevitable. Just low boost totals for almost all of the players. The shots just coming fast and ferocious over and over again. And yeah, eventually something's going to have to give, and that indeed was it. Good shot from Hockey. Honestly, great awareness to recognize the awkwardness of the defense and just fire it from the corner, but kind of felt like this was coming no matter what. Northwood are not going to get shut out, and definitely not going to do it against a team like Baylor, where they know they have expectations they need to meet.
What a flick by Andy, read by Hawkster. Zanil though, not much boost in the tank, but still sends it up. Deflection by JT, Creams out towards the center. Hockey will just have to send it back to Zanil, and he's quickly rushed by JT, who gives him no time to get ready. Double commit though a little bit. Andy is last back in the midfield, challenges when necessary, even gets a nice pinch off, but Hawkster, I don't think could find the angle. May have been an opportunity. JT even commits here, but still the ball remains on the Northwood side. A double miss, a rare in CRL for sure, and Creams cannot beat all of the defenders who throw themselves at him.
They need to be very careful here. Baylor, I understand that you're feeling confident and comfortable. I don't know if that means you should send every single player downfield. That's a bit of a risky game you're playing, especially with a 1-1 scoreline where the most recent goal comes from a Northwood who figured out how to whittle down your defense. Have to be careful here in the final 20, and that does mean they can still march down pitch, but maybe be aware of the little bit of shenanigans. Creams, an extra touch there, could have gotten past the defense, but instead, Hawkster, JT trying to combine for one last effort. 10 seconds on the clock. Can Zanil even get this downfield?
Cut here for Hawkster. Manages to get there first. This one, though, he slows it down. Manages to just buy time, and it'll touch the ground. We get overtime in game number 1 against the likes of Baylor and Northwood.
This is honestly what I was hoping for. I don't know if I anticipated it, but I was hoping we would get to this level of Baylor truly showing that they are comfortable in this scene, that they are this good of a team, and that they can't hang with anybody if you give them the right time of day. Only problem, that's all three committed, and that's a lot of boost now that Northwood can work with. Hockey pops it up. Zanil is there. The 50 will only get to the backboard. Can Creams finish the job? How about with a double off target, off the bar and out, and just a bit off the mark?
Unfortunately, Creams had no boost in the tank, so he couldn't make a slight correction in his angle. Oxer almost the touchdown, maybe a fake as it still went on target, but both teams with a couple of opportunities to start off this overtime. Andy, this touch a little too strong, but it's given right back to him. JT upfield will be on this first, slowing it down, does get a boost steal as well, but Hockey flip reset out to Creams. Creams sending it high, has an opportunity for redemption, but here manages to poke its way through, and Andy, this save, sends it upfield. Hoxer with the demo. I don't think he steals that boost. I thought he had it on him, but instead he'll have to take a step back as the pressure just continues to dissipate ever so slightly.
Baylor's playing well, but they need an opening right now. It does feel like a lot of what they are approaching with has been relatively coordinated to the point where Northwood can see it coming. Need to be careful here, because if they do keep playing this more, I'd say, choreographed offense, this is just going to give more time for Northwood to adjust and get more comfortable in this series versus Northwood, who had some opportunities here in OT. They haven't really sunk any of them, but here comes another Hockey flip reset around Andy, and he'll do it himself? I thought that was a pass out center. Hockey had everybody, including the defense, fully bamboozled.
You know, sometimes the least likely play is the one to make it through, and Hockey found the opening with the reset, had the angle for it, and just enough boost to push himself forward. Incredible effort by Baylor. I will give it to them. They made this win as difficult as possible for Northwood, and now Northwood needs to consider what adjustments can they make. After 14 shots compared to 7, they still go to overtime and only win by 1.
It's kind of crazy seeing Zanil with 8 shots and 0 goals. Not the usual for a player like Zanil, who's very clinical on offense, defense, and across the board here, but it kind of goes to show with what we were talking about. Baylor did play well in this game, but they didn't necessarily ever sit in the driver's seat. They were getting good offense, they were having decent defense, but oftentimes the stops that we're finding were on the line, right place, right time type of moment here, versus a Northwood that I think consistently put out that pressure, and with enough pressure, you can see that bend don't break attitude will eventually break. So Baylor, not a bad first game, they do push it to OT, but this is the concern with Northwood. They are really good at adapting, and once they do, they can put the pressure on you in more ways than one.
Again, love the adjustment though for Baylor. 4 of the 8 saves come from Hoxer, 3 of the 8 come from Andy, so 7 of 8 total between them, and JT was allowed upfield a lot more and applied a lot of that pressure initially for Baylor. I think it's a better, just fit for them positionally when they structure their game plan around like that. Now little adjustments can be tweaked to that sort of strategy, and I think it'll work out better for Baylor if they continue kind of doing what they've adjusted to.
Wait, no, come on. Surely not, right? This isn't... What? Okay, that is, and I will definitively make this statement, the weirdest kickoff in CRL history.
I just...
How many demos was that?
Break that down. Like,
all right,
4?
well, we keep on playing. Let's call it 4 demos. I'll call it chaos. CRL living up to its namesake this weekend.
KO, that's all I could hear, continuously, as everyone kept on doing it. But anyways, Northwood started out on top in a mirror. The time didn't start until they touched the ball, right? That was like a 1 second goal. That may be the fastest goal we've seen ever as well, too. Incredible work. Creams saving this one, deflecting it away. Hockey is there, manages to put it on target. What a save by Andy, but what a transition for Northwood.
I'm a bit upset that doesn't go in. Get it, Andy. You don't want to, get absolutely clowned on. It was basically a psycho that turned into a pass and then a shot on target. But honestly, would have been like goal of the day, and we've had a lot of those already. So understandable to not want to go down 2-0 within the first minute, but it might still go that way anyway. Northwood, a very strong start here, and against the Baylor that seem less than comfortable, I would say. This touch goes to the backboard, and Hawkster tries to clear it out. It's Hockey already there to fire a shot on target, and although Andy turns it away, not a lot of boost for anybody on Baylor to work with, and Creams, all right, brother, you got to stop going for the psycho. I appreciate it, but I don't think it's working out.
But if he does hit it, eventually, it'll be a really cool clip.
That is true.
Right?
That is true. This would also be a cool clip. This is more bullying, actually, I'll be real.
I almost thought JT had it for a second. I was going to be pretty impressed if he did. The effort was there, but having a blocker in Zanil makes this so much more difficult for JT, and Creams has so much boost to work with and managing to find that 50. But Northwood, very physical display early on in this one. Between the demos and the bumps, they have been nothing short of continuously trying to punish Baylor.
I think that's honestly, okay, we will talk about why that is in a second. This is why you and I said you have to put JT up front, because he's capable of stuff like this.
Yeah, he has an opportunity to make the double. It's a difficult read no matter what. You have to guess what it's going to be, and Creams doesn't guess it. So JT has the opportunity. Again, it's so much easier. Again, if JT doesn't make that play, no biggie. He's upfield. They can adjust to it. But if he does make that play, it's such a better opportunity. I'm loving what I'm seeing, how the strategy has changed for Baylor, and it's making these games much closer than they were last split.
100%. I mean, again, we can see it. JT has definitely improved versus what we saw from him in the first split, both mechanically, individual prowess, and really, I think it's the calmness of him, being able to get into lobbies like this and not make last-second mistakes just due to the pressure being on him. So I've loved what we've seen from JT so far, but it's not been enough for Baylor to get the W. And I'll go back to my previous point real quickly, talking about why I think physicality has now become more of a game plan here for Northwood. It's the defense that has stayed on the line. We talked about it. So a lot of the shots that were being saved were just flat-footed. The defense just sitting in net, waiting for their moments. An easy way to counter that is to start just taking them out of net. If they're going to sit still for a moment, bump them, demo them, remove them from the play. And unfortunately for Baylor, that's been the case multiple times in this game. JT, another victim of just the absolute onslaught of demos we've seen.
Yeah, but for now, Baylor has been able to adjust to it appropriately. There is generally someone else back to make some sort of save. This one by Creams is off target, and Hawkster respawning after that demo is defensively placed. So that allows an opportunity here. Great read! That is, yeah, that's a pinch on in.
What is happening in this series right now? This has been one of the weirdest games of CRL in a hot moment. Props to Hawkster for going for that, and I mean, you can see it for the cams. Creams is smiling. He's probably also going, yeah, I probably shouldn't have gone for that.
Yeah, I was impressed with the speed at which Hawkster was able to adjust to it to even get to the challenge. I thought Creams was going to have a free and open opportunity, but he indeed did not. So now, just like that, the game is tied. Again, we are tied again in a game of Northwood against Baylor, where Northwood is 3-0 to start
the expected outcome is what we anticipated, right? Definitely didn't anticipate that. All right, Zanil, that'll be your one. You miss an opportunity like that again, it could cost you this game. With 90 seconds to go, I'm not going to say the opportunities have been far and few between, but the goals have come in weird moments, and the misses have also. A relatively open net, Zanil can't sink. Now Baylor get a chance the other way, but it is only momentary. Creams looking for the reset, or maybe the fake out, saves his flip for the right moment, but can't get past one of the best thirds in NA. Andy will make the save.
Yeah, Andy has been so solid defensively. 3 saves credited to him this game already, and he is continuing to challenge when needed, exactly like right here. Hawkster now, opportunity to follow up. JT as well will have to challenge this momentarily, and he does just that. So Creams has to put in the corner. Bump, but Andy is back, managing to get here. Challenged again. Huge clear for Hawkster upfield, and Creams' touch keeps it close. Manages to get it center, but JT, a good read to at least deflect it towards the side. Hockey off the ceiling. Another deflected touch from Andy, but still Northwood continues their onslaught of pressure. Even a clear here, stopped short of it. JT to follow up, though. I don't know if anyone was ready for that. Hockey away, and this one still back to neutral field.
This feels a little bit odd for both of the teams right now. For Northwood, it kind of just feels like they're relying on individual efforts to get them goals, and for Baylor, it's just about keeping the ball away from Northwood. I want everybody at home to start counting and see how many touches actually go to a teammate here. It feels like I'm seeing heavy touch and then to the other team, heavy touch to the other team. Nobody really coordinating with their touches, and maybe Baylor can change that. Andy, the shot on target, it in! And once again, Baylor with the last-second heroics to tie up the series.
I was gonna say, this is again another 0-second goal by Andy. He again takes the opportunity off of Hoxer, who is always so solid with his touches to keep the ball close and maintain control. So he air dribbles that perfectly through the air, manages to get the extra touch forward as a pass, and now Baylor, stuns the likes of Northwood by getting a game. Like I said, the only other team to take games off of Northwood so far has been Winthrop. Otherwise, they have swept against very solid rosters. So Baylor to take a game from Northwood feels like a huge moral victory.
Congratulations, Baylor. You are now officially better than Concord and WVU. That's just the way that the transitive property works. You guys get to now be power ranked above them and just considered a better team. Jokes aside, this is kind of proving what we were talking about. If Baylor can play to the level of Northwood, if all three of their players are on, this is the thing. This is what they're capable of. And I know that we've said that a lot here, but it really does go to show that if a team is on the day, you never know what's going to happen in CRL. It would be a weird reality for Northwood's first loss of the season to come against Baylor, but it would also be like the most CRL thing to ever happen.
Yeah, I don't want to agree with you, but it's inevitable. Like it's a CRL thing to happen if it would happen, and then that would be very awkward for a lot of us. But nonetheless, we're not going to think about that because we're thinking now about Game 3, where either team could end up being ahead in this series instead of just tied in series record. I truly do not know what will happen in this one. I want to see a little bit of fight back from Northwood, show that, they cannot be bullied, but the likes of me kind of is enjoying this Baylor comeback story.
I like the idea of we have to prove that Northwood can't be bullied. Like this is where we're at now, where we have to reinvigorate Northwood into the same caliber that which they once were. Just especially considering we just talked about how they have returned to form in a way we haven't seen in like a year's time. Oh, CRL, please never change. Let's keep it going though. In game number 3, physicality already being shown. This time it's actually in favor of Baylor, and JT will follow it up with an immediate challenge. Some offense here for Northwood, but very quickly taken off the pitch.
50 here for Andy isn't one in his favor. Hoxer, though, taking time, interestingly enough. Allows that 50 to play into him, has no boost, so just feigning a little bit of effort. This one here, Andy will get the ball straight to him. Hoxer has open field to work with, so does place it off the corner. Goes towards the ceiling, contested early, but no touch by Hockey in midfield. Zanil still chasing his initial 50. A miss here. JT deflects it high enough. Do we have a follow-up? Though Hockey, a couple of touches, and it's off the mark and safely into the corner temporarily.
This is feeling even weirder now, not just due to the fact that Northwood have had all this pressure, but no goal for the first minute, but also, does it feel like Northwood's getting hesitant? Usually they are not. This is not a team that will shy away from a challenge nor an attempt, but it does kind of feel like their midfield, which was a lot more aggressive before, is starting to back off. It's Zanil in particular who is starting to just play a little bit further back, get prepared for Baylor on the counterattack as they've proven that they can. I don't know if it's the right strategy, I don't know if it's the wrong one either, but you can tell there's been a vibe shift in between games 2 and 3, and so far that's resulted in an even scoreline through the first 2 minutes.
Now, I don't want to say they should be embarrassed or maybe are feeling embarrassed about taking a game lost, but Hockey does manage to find a perfectly angled shot here off of Zanil's initial efforts. Unfortunately, JT's touch doesn't go more towards the side. A little concerned that Cream's committed with that, but nonetheless, good shot.
We'll take it. It's a huge correction for a team that I'm not going to say desperately needs it, but definitely wants to reinstill some confidence after Game 2 crushing defeat. It's not just that they lost, but again, it's a 0-second goal. Never feels good, and it's got to feel good for at least Hockey right now. He's the lead scorer for his team, had 2 goals, including the overtime winner in game number 1, so kind of feels like it's the veteran that's going to lead the charge here today, as Zanil and Creams have been relatively quiet so far, but it's only a 1-goal lead here, so anything could change in what has been one of our most most chaotic series so far this semester. How about right now? Off the backboard, where's the follow? Not there in time, and Hockey will push it to the corner.
Yeah, no shade to Zanil, of course, but you mentioned earlier, and we saw earlier he was 0 for 7, I think, on the first shot. 8. Yeah, to start today. He just hasn't had, the quality of shots that we normally would see from someone like Zanil. Hockey definitely has the hotter hand. Creams normally, no matter how many attempts he gets, he will eventually put one on in. It's inevitable for Creams to find some sort of play at a point throughout this series. So Zanil will just have to take a step back, I think, today, because ultimately his shots aren't going on in. But it's an adjustment the team will have to make, and they have enough hard-headed hitters to manage to get going through. And I was waiting, I was hoping the shot would be better from Baylor, but somehow they didn't manage to actually put a shot on target. And now Hoxer is left by his lonesome as a couple of misses come on through. No shot from Northwood either there on that transition.
It feels like both teams are just waiting for that moment, and neither team is willing to crack right now. Again, a massive compliment to the composure of Baylor, who could have easily been rocked after the loss in game 1, as well as also, again, it's Northwood. Thought for a second that might be an opportunity, but no, instead, Andy, good cut through on what could have been a 2v0 with an open net. Now the transition downfield. JT can't get to that one, but his teammates should. Trying to run interference against Creams. It's a good idea, but the execution is not quite there. And now Northwood on the counter. Zanil is there. The shot is in, and Northwood double their lead.
I hate that touch by Hoxer. He essentially gives the ball away. Safely putting it into his corner would have been so much better, or keeping it close. It's just giving up possession as he moves across the field defensively is not what you should be doing. So another opportunity for Northwood executed. And now Baylor on the back foot needs to get 2 with under a minute left on the clock. Maybe one here for JT. Doesn't get the read as Zanil can put this one away. But for now, Northwood has been very confident with the opportunities they've gotten.
I'm starting to understand why they are playing a bit more patient here. I think it's and I say this, not trying to bully, but I think it truly is disrespect. I think it is the reacting to the fact that I don't think Baylor, for most of the shots that they're going to put on, are going to be of a high enough caliber that's going to sneak past a well-prepared defense. And I think that's why they're giving the extra time right now. Whether they should do that is up to debate, but I think that is what we are seeing, and that's why there's extra space here for Creams to work with, and both his teammates are back and fully boosted to go. So it's just finding the right patience at the right time, doing the right thing of just kind of forcing Baylor to play to their game rather than them play to Baylor's game, and it's definitely made for an improved game 3. They are 10 seconds away from a shutout to send them to series point.
I was going to say, what shots when it comes to Baylor? They've only managed to get 2 this game, and one of those came within the last couple of seconds. Oh my gosh! That is nasty.
Okay, all right, Zanil, my bad. We said, hey, you may not be the offensive force for your game, and then he comes out with 2 goals and assists, the most shots for his team. Never mind, it just, it's the Garrett G effect. You gotta get until the 3rd game in the series, and that's where you start to pop off. And Northwood doing exactly that after 2 contentious games in a row versus Baylor. Game 3 was anything but that.
Yeah, a very different game 3. Slower in pace, a lot more midfield or possessionally based compared to defense and then attack, and defense and attack sort of game. But honestly, shocking. Northwood's doing fine, playing the slower game, playing the more patient game, and Baylor having a hard time adjusting to it again and just not getting that offensive pressure that we've seen from them in the past.
Yeah, this is definitely Baylor. I think if they had kept up the pace and kept up sort of the style that they had through the first couple of games, I think this could have been a much closer contest here. But unfortunately, this is kind of what we've seen against many teams playing against Northwood. While initially it takes a second for Northwood to adjust to you, once they do make those adjustments, they start to pull away. And there's a number of stats here we can reference, whether it's the 3-0 with Baylor not being able to get a goal here, or like you said, the shot disparity between the 2 teams. 8 shots to only 2. So it's kind of clear Northwood are starting to figure Baylor out, and that doesn't mean Baylor is out of this one quite yet, but we need to see a step up from this team. We need to see the same sort of confident gameplay we saw through the first 2, because that change of pace in game 3 definitely shook their confidence.
I mean, I always say, no matter if it's a best of 5, best of 7, adaptation is so important throughout a series. And this is where we see, can really the seniority of Hoxer and Andy and the professionalism allow them to change up the game plan to fight against Northwood in this one. Northwood are going to play their same game. They're going to stay calm and collected. Hopefully, we didn't see any kickoff shenanigans like last game that could have shook them, but let's play the same game that we saw earlier and that back and forth that we also saw in game 1 that brought us to an overtime to begin with.
All right, let's see. Can Baylor find a way to stretch this series to 5? We've seen many a teams bite the dust here on Neo Tokyo. It wouldn't be a surprising end. But again, I've got faith in Baylor. They've played way better today than I think many people expected, and that is no shade to them. That is more a happiness to see this team finally put together the pieces that we know they could have. Okay, might have been a bad time for me to start giving them compliments because I think they're going to concede here. Never mind, Hockey can't get past the final defender, and all right, Baylor, you're giving us a bit of a scare, but you do survive.
Again, though, this ball trickles out into midfield where Zanil has the flip reset, keeps it off the backboard. Touchdown to Hockey, shot underneath, does get under the bar. An opportunity for Northwood to start game 4.
The veteran continues to captain this team to victory. That is Hockey's 4th goal in 4 games. He is averaging a goal per game right now, the only one on either side of the pitch to have that accolade. It always feels good when you see Hockey be the guy to pop off. It's not always the case with 2 incredible teammates in Zanil and Creams, but if Hockey's on for a game, that's a scary sight for any team competing.
Creams, it's a couple of touches, and JT able to send it towards the side. Gives up this ball, unfortunately, and Hawks are left in an awkward situation. The 50 will hit off the backboard, and Andy now trying to chase this one away. Again, use this dribbling that we've seen from him so far. Hockey on transition, 50'd by JT. Creams to be to this one first. May have gotten a flip reset and gets another as well up forward. Oxer off the corner. Manages again to get a field, but not much more than that. Every single opportunity that Baylor has of field just quickly dissipates with the defensive capabilities of Northwood right now.
Again, I think it goes back to, the creativity of their offense. This is what we were talking about. These standard passes were not enough. How about JT gliding it through the corner and Hawks are getting whatever that angle is?
Yeah, I was shocked. I thought, again, JT's touch wouldn't amount to really anything, but they take an opportunity, send a nice pass towards center field, and Hawksar has hit many very difficult and awkward angled shots today, whether it's off doings or aerial touches. So great opportunity for Baylor. It only takes 1 compared to the 5 that Northwood have had so far to tie up this scoreline for them. Baylor won't get many more opportunities, I'm sure, but they can keep getting ones like that one. They'll make this game that much closer.
It's still a very close game. Again, 1-1 into halftime. As much as we've talked about Game 3 being the pull away here from Northwood, every other game has been a 1-goal ball game. So it's been really close, and Baylor has shown that ability to keep up with Northwood, but it's going to take goals like we just saw in order for them to find any opening. The standard shots, the individual plays just haven't been enough. We've seen that they are capable. The chemistry amongst these 3 is of the utmost. But Sunil is as well just with individual effort. That's almost every player on Baylor dunked. Still not enough though, and Hawkster with a reset in the bag will get it to Andy. Andy looking for the drop to JT, and Sunil knows JT can't make that challenge, so we'll take it to the air instead. Reset around him, not around Hawkster, and we continue to have this ping pong effect as both teams take heavy touches back and forth.
Hawks on transition though, has the double flip reset and can't angle it against Hockey. Tried to get an opportunity all by himself and almost executes it. Now, Hawks are still staying very vigilant upfield. JT's touch deflected away by Zanil. Andy to now come in, keep this offensively for Baylor. A demo as well, but the touch is on. Giving Hawkster the boost. No touch here. JT, can he find an angle? Keeps it off the corner. Creams a doink into center field. And for now, no one to contest to it just yet. Hawkster deflects, sends it on the flip. Net's open. Can he find an angle? Decides to take his time, but Andy can't win that last 50.
I just don't think they anticipated that being as open as it was. They probably thought somebody would be back, and by the time they recognize the opportunity, it's already gone. A good effort from Baylor. It's showing they are not only in this game, but they are finding those opportunities more and more often. That's a scary scenario. If you are Northwood, you do not want to let this get pressed to Game 5 and ensue even further doubts in what was a resurgent version of your team. Maybe they can end it here. Hockey, reset, not going to be found, but the pass to the backboard won't get to anybody. Andy's interfering with Zanil, so there will be no follow-up. With only 40 to play, it's either team's ball game to close this one.
You know, Hawks are faking some pressure there, allows the touch to come off heavy, and Andy like that picks it up. Hawks are trying to get through on the backboard, doesn't get anybody, and this touch by Creams goes safely into the corner. Andy into midfield, wins this 50, goes off the other corner. Not read by Zanil, but Cream's able to pick it up. Andy off the ceiling, goes for the flip, reset. Does he have the double tap read? Andy does! He's been so clinical at the end of games. Baylor leads in game 4.
There's some sort of clutch about Andy that nobody else in CRL seems to have. When you need him to pop off the most, he will not only do it, he'll do it in a pretty flashy way. Saves the reset, doubles on top of their head, and all of a sudden, it's a 2-goal lead for Baylor. 3-1 with 10 to go.
Oh my goodness. Baylor's clutch ability at the end of games is something that needs to be studied, especially in the hands of Andy. But Hawkser off kickoff just continues it on more forward, and I loved seeing Hawkser and Andy in this one just show their colors upfield so much more. I swear we haven't seen them this much in the offensive zone other than in this game, and now they bring Northwood to game 5.
Hey, chat, you guys expect we were gonna get here? Because I'll keep it a buck. I didn't. Baylor, goodness me. They are taking the momentum from that OC series, and they are running with it here. And this is not only the best game for them, obviously, with a 2-goal win that they get here, but on top of that, it's the closeness of the stats. We've talked about how Northwood were kind of blowing them out of the water with overwhelming shot totals. This was not that. Even shots to both teams, even saves to both teams. Baylor is showing that when they are in control, they can keep these games not only close, but they can really kind of dictate how Northwood plays, something they didn't do in game 3, but very clearly changed going into game 4.
Yeah, I'm just absolutely shocked right now at the state of this series. Northwood obviously coming through always with confidence, but at the end of the day, Baylor has shown that resilience. Even when that game 3 didn't go their way, they come out in game 4, they show a lot more of their mechanical ability and just the adjustments that they've been able to make. I mentioned that Andy and Hawkser had to adjust, and they did exactly that. I have not seen them have so many opportunities upfield as in this last game. It didn't always transform into an actual shot count that we can show, but it definitely showed in the control and the amount of aggressiveness that they were able to put on Northwood. Northwood on the back foot for a lot of that game. Now we need to think about this game in particular, because again, this could be the upset that we never anticipated.
Oh, Champions Field is good to see you yet again. It feels like we're going to live here today with just the constant back and forth between our squads. And this isn't even the end of the day, nor even close. We've still got another series after this, so the action continues here in CRL. Goodness, what a treat that this semester has been so far. Let's get it started. Baylor looking for the upset of the season if they can get this done.
Fighting for a spot in that top 4 has never been more difficult in league play, and still the aggressiveness coming through. Hawkser will actually go down. This one given to Zanil. Flip reset here. Get it underneath the bar. It bounces out and away. An opportunity taken again by the crossbar for Northwood.
Does it make sense when I say that was too good of a flip reset? Like, it was too on point to where the power puts it into the bar and can't go bar down and in, but bar and out. Sometimes perfection actually is the enemy, and apparently here for Northwood, it will be to start off game 5. No goal found and a breakaway now for Baylor that sets their sight on offense. Creams immediately challenged by Hawkser, and he'll pop it to the opposite corner. Daniil to try and clear the midfield, but he will get no further than Andy. The bump will finally remove Baylor from the play, and kind of feels like right now Northwood, they've got the pressure against them, but all it takes is one good opportunity, and it's denied by Hawkser.
Still opportunities possible. Andy, though, on transition, we've seen how solid he's been all day today. Floats it over one, but Hockey on rotation back, able to find the save. This one by Andy, almost perfectly placed, but Hockey back at it again. Andy bumping a little bit in net. This one just too far for JT, and Andy not much boost in the tank, can only deflect so far. Pass over to Zanil. Hawkser managed to get in the way again just in time, and Hawkser up again to at least clear and dissipate some pressure for now. This one back to Zanil. over towards the offense. Nobody managed to find a touch on that one, and it'll stay in the corner. For now, everyone can breathe a small sigh of relief, just very temporarily.
Yeah, temporarily is the name of the game here right now. No matter where you think you are safe, you probably are not, especially as Andy tackling Hawkster but can't make enough contact. Now Zanil. Long ball downfield. What can he do with it? Pops it to the bar, and the save will be made. Everybody flailing for Baylor. Is it enough? No, the shots continue to miss the target. It's either 3 or 4 in a row that Northwood could have probably sank into the back of the net. Instead, they reapproach. Zanil. Full tank, off the ceiling, reset not found. Clear downfield to JT. Won't get there as Greaves interferes, and this has kind of been the name of the game here in Game 5. Both teams trying to patrol that midfield. They want that free transition, but so far, neither team has been willing to give the space.
Well, Hawkster almost had the angle off the pass, but it just seems like this game has amped up in speed, most likely, in franticness. It feels like there's a lot of panic going on most of these touches. Zanil flip, reset taken quickly away by Andy. The follow-up shot, it almost seems like Zanil was in the way, and JT even here in the way, manages a 50. Can he get the shot on target? Zanil off the post, the finish won't be made either. Hockey denies, and we stay at 0.
How is this not... How is neither team in the lead? This doesn't make any sense. Both shots have there should have been in, and somehow, some way, the defense finds a way to recover, finds a way to keep it out, and we stay at a 0 score line with only 80 to play. Hockey, the veteran, trying to get it done himself. He can. Zanil on the backup. Andy, calm and composed, will not even flinch. And now Baylor, the breakaway. Hawks are denied, and it's just back and forth here with only a minute to play. One more chance. And finally it's through! Creams to end the drought and give Northwood the lead!
A total of 13 shots for Northwood to make that opportunity possible. 5 for Baylor. We had 18 shots until we got our first goal. And finally, it goes on in. Northwood catch a break, but they cannot keep calm. They have to maintain composure the remaining minute of this game, because no matter what, we know it has been nearly impossible to score, and the effort has gone noticed for both teams. They have continued to show everything they possibly could to make a goal happen. With 1 or 2 opportunities left potentially for Baylor on transition, they have to look for one now before time's out.
They've got a chance here, but it's Northwood currently on the offense. Andy trying to keep this one close in the corner. A pop out center, though, goes to Zanil. Hockey trying to run interference, but so far Baylor can't even break out of their half here in the dying moments. Hoxer tries to get this one off the backboard. It is awkward, but Hockey doesn't have much of a touch either. Zanil does have something here, but it's basically a 3v1 as Hoxer tries to pop this from the corner. He cannot. JT, it's not the time to hesitate, brother. You gotta go, go, go. Long ball downfield. This one barely saved by Greaves, and as soon as it hits the ground, this is over. Zanil the pop out. Hoxer to chase to the sidewall it goes, and he's got a chance to keep this going. Over 1, not around 2. JT doesn't have boost, so he can't get to this. He'll pick up the corner and keep it alive. I thought this game might be over, and it still will not be. Hoxer keeps it up, and finally it's spiked down. Northwood barely get the W, but they get it done in 3-2 fashion.
Oh my goodness. I did not anticipate that game to be nearly as exciting as it was. What a total effort from Baylor. If things have gone their way 1 or 2 more times, or they had won the overtime in game 1, this could have been an entirely different series. Baylor has the potential to win big games. We finally saw it on stream, I think, for the first time, just how capable they are when things do go their way.
I mean, this is a team, we just talked to Hoxer about, what makes the difference between the teams that are outside of CRL and inside of CRL. And the conversation continues to be the consistency plus composure. Baylor at no point in that series looked like they were panicking. A couple of moments here or there where I think maybe there was some excessive pressure in Game 5, but for the most part, it was good gameplay. It was solid gameplay all around here. And yes, the shot totals here are rather one-sided, and I didn't really realize that until this moment. But again, Baylor didn't need to get it done that way. It was about clinical transitions for them, and they had that opportunity multiple times. If not for some of the greatest saves I have ever seen, this could have been an overtime in this exact moment.
Yeah, again, so many things could have gone differently, and I think the effort between these two teams had shown more than ever just how close CRL can be when players do the right thing, make adjustments, continue to perform at the level that they can perform. I mean, all 8 teams in League Split 2 are there for a reason. They fought tooth and nail to get there, and at any time you can kind of just continue to question who's at the top of CRL. Northwood's performance, of course, puts them still at perfect series record for this split, but that doesn't mean they are inevitably the number 1 team, because Baylor took them to the breaking point. Baylor, who is at the bottom of League Split 1.
It's a weird world we live in CRL, and it makes for some of the most entertaining series imaginable, including our next one. Northwood is not done. They might have escaped Baylor, but can they escape Ball State? It's an old school rivalry here for Collegiate Rocket League. You are not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
comes from nowhere, makes you wonder if you lost control, leaves you breathless, changes what you think is possible. Got me too. Brought me to you. It's got you too. Your magic's true. Your magic's true.
Welcome back, everyone, to CRL, and I'm here with a Canadian off Northwood. It's Creams in the booth. How you doing, boss? A little close for comfort, eh?
It was a little close, yeah. Sees what
A
happens.
was, by the way, completely unintentional. I just realized that was bad. Sorry. Yeah, a little close for comfort.
A little close, but that's what happens when we don't put like full effort and just kind of play like we've already won the series, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you said you were coming into it like feeling a little off today. Is it just you're just tired? You just late night or what?
I just had a long night last night. Had a good time. Didn't get to bed till pretty late, so not a lot of sleep, you know?
You better lock in, brother. You're not just playing for yourself, brother. No, I'm kidding. But I'm very happy to see that you're just honestly doing well. You guys are on an insane run right now. You're 4-0, a complete inverse from the first split. What happened to you guys? You guys are playing at some of the best level, despite the previous series. You guys are playing at some of the best level that we've seen from you so far in this new league play format. What made you turn on the jet so much?
I mean, the first split is like playing to beat some people, maybe a little more money. The second split, you're playing for playoffs or championship or whatever it is. So like, there's a little more intensity and a little more care. We didn't really care that much, and now we're working with Nick and actually putting the effort in and getting the results we should have been getting all along.
Okay, so you guys have basically kind of run the gauntlet so far of like most of the top teams. We'll get to Ball State in a second, but the one that is currently off your record now is that you're going to be facing up pretty soon is St. Clair. Now, you talked to me about this. You still think St. Clair is pretty good. How are you feeling about this St. Clair team? Do you think they're up to your level?
So my thoughts on us and St. Clair is how it should be. Like, last split was kind of... It's just one of those, like, it didn't really matter that much, but how it should be is we're number 1 and 2. We're the 2 rosters with 3 players that have that threat on the ball and are the most talented. And I think talent-wise, we're the 2 best teams in CRL. So I feel like them versus us is like, who's going to show up on the day, who's going to play well, and who's going to take the win, who's got more ice.
Now, when that day comes, who do you think is going to take the win?
Well, obviously, I got to say us.
Yeah, but I mean, it is interesting that you're pointing out how the kind of inverse from split 1 to split 2 is very much a case of locking in. You recognize the stakes now, coming into it. Is there a particular threat that you see outside of yourself and St. Clair when the fall championship comes around?
You know, I think a lot of these teams can catch us off guard. Like, I'm more scared of the Concords and the I can't think of anyone else, but like the lower teams that are not doing so well, because when they come into matches, they want to win more against us. We've got a good game plan against Winthrop. We should have 3-1 both those series. We played bad, but the other teams are the more scary ones you play against, because they can show up one day and be like Helix masterful series. We've seen it so many times, like, and then the next day he can be the worst player on the field and lose them the series. But then he comes back again, and he's the best player ever. So I'm more scared of those lower teams that have the players that have the really big pop-off potential.
Okay, well, Ball State is kind of one of those lower edge teams who we've seen kind of on the upswing, right? They've been playing very well as of late, and have really kind of made their name in CRL thus far. But what do you think of them? Do you think that it's going to be your next match soon? So you'll find out pretty soon. But what's your feelings on them?
I mean, they've always been a team that are very good. Like, they're 3 good players. Oath and Ga, very, very talented. Like, can put up upsets and everything. So you've got to stay locked in and you've got to play your Rocket League to beat them. Because they're not one of the teams that are just going to go down easy ever. So we just got to go into that series and play our game if we want to beat them. Because they will upset us if we don't play locked in like we did against Baylor. They're more scary than that.
Well, man, I wish you the best of luck. I know you wanted to talk, so any final words you got? Talk your trash, man. Do what you need to. Who's at your level? Who's not?
I don't know. I don't think I have much more trash to talk. I think I've said enough. But go my team. Go Canada. Let's keep winning.
All right, make that a graphic, guys. All right. Yep, you guys heard it. All right. Thank you so much, dude. Hey, you keep quiet, production. No, it's fine. But either way, good luck in your next game. I'm really rooting for you guys. I really hope you guys go on a sick run. I think fall championships coming up. You guys are in the running, man.
Thank you.
All right. Creams of Northwood showcasing, it was a bit of a close affair, but they were able to take care of business at the end of the day, and now it's about whether or not they can go all the way. Ball State is up next, but guys, this series, walk us through it. Bass?
Well, I would say that I am totally done with this whole Canadian on Canadian interviews.
Thank you.
The bias was there. It was evident, man. I don't know.
We just had CRL sanctioned Canadian propaganda. I would like to just point out that was like an entire interview just full of that. Like literally ended with you going, go Canada.
There was none. I hope you know. Come on. Listen. There's one Canadian this entire league.
You have a whole team!
Yeah, but they're Europeans.
Okay, all right. So now you don't claim them. So now you don't claim them. Okay, all right.
Canadians after backing them all season. You literally have their jersey.
Wow, that is just couldn't be me. When I sell that,
I'm not Canadian propaganda. Holds up his shirt with the Canadian flag on it. Like, all right, Seb.
Okay,
you're not fooling us.
That's not the point, guys. The point. Okay,
well,
guys, chill.
What does your shirt say?
No, hold on. The point of the interview is to show that Northwood are indeed a 5-0 team. They are playing
This is true.
phenomenally.
Can you stand up real quick for me?
The man asked.
Let us see it. Let the audio.
Oh, there it is. Sheesh. With that said,
give me a break.
It really was, Canadian aside, a fantastic matchup. Bass, here's a chance to sound off against Seb. Thoughts about the series? And you're in the booth. Tell me about it.
It was a great series. Honestly, I have all the props in the world. We talked about this during the break. That was not Northwood failing to play to the level of, their highest level. I disagree with what Cream said. I really do think that was Baylor playing up to Northwood's level. I truly do believe that was Baylor showing that they have the capabilities to hang with the very best of the best. And yeah, maybe Cream's like, all right, well, we didn't expect them to play that way. That's why it was hard. But even when they locked in, we saw it in games 4 and 5 where Northwood were definitely locked. They lost by 2 goals in game 4 and they barely won in game 5 by a single goal. So I get the idea of, sometimes you just don't play up to the level of your opponent because you're not anticipating them to be that good. But Baylor is proving they are that good. And it is not just a one-off thing. It's a repeat pattern.
Hey, look, wins is good, that chick said, but let me ask you, the goal differential is only 1. Is that considered some of a disappointment, you think, from Northwood?
Yeah, I think a lot of what Northwood struggles with is their confidence being too much confidence, turning into ego. I think Creams have stated it before, they don't take a lot of the teams on the lower end of the league split as seriously as they need to. At the end of the day, when you look at Baylor's roster, you still have Hoxer and Andy on it. You cannot just gloss them over as Baylor as a team hasn't done well this season. Those are 2 players that have proved themselves in Rocket League before. So glossing over and not respecting them, it just can't be done. These are the top 8 teams in Collegiate Rocket League right now, and that is a very high standard to be in the top 8. So no matter if you're playing against the top 4 that are currently there or the bottom 4 of Split, it does not matter. You have to hold up your end of the game, and Ball State is one of those teams that they're going against soon that they also need to respect, and I think Creams will end up respecting them better into this one.
Well, let's get into it. Northwood, one of the 2 teams here doing double duty today, is taking on Ball State, a team that seemed absolutely out of nowhere to run a form that has been absolutely unmatched. This one right here could be an absolute banger as well. Bass, I'm going to start with you. Northwood, we know how good they are. Ball State, they make being good look easy and fun to play. This could be a clash of styles, if not philosophies.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be 2 different sides of the coin here. It's a Northwood that really like to play as a full team on both sides of the pitch. We were extremely complimentary of Zanil and Creams for a handful of the saves that they had in that last series, the defense that they displayed, versus Ball State, where, remember, this is an exact quote from Akron. If you guys don't know about Akron, one of the longest standing teams in Collegiate Rocket League, they did not make it in this season or semester, but they are a very capable team. Talking to the coach of Akron, Huntley, like a year ago, and he going, yeah, I don't know how to play Ball State. They are the most oppressive offense in all of Collegiate Rocket League, and while they haven't necessarily been able to hold that title for the past year or so, when they lock in, they play almost exclusively offense, and they will down until eventually you give up a goal. Very, very capable team. The only problem is they're facing a juggernaut in a currently undefeated Northwood.
Well, Seb, I know you're completely unbiased, but Gah has been on an absolute tear individually speaking. Does Northwood have an answer for something of that kind of offensive onslaught?
Yes, as I recover from the absolute thrashing that I took from chat and my co-host here. Yes, Guy is incredible. I don't think when we talk about the individuals on Ball State, there is any question that they're capable. They are fantastic players, obviously RLCS experienced. Enough said regarding these guys. The question is, and I think Creams kind of hinted towards it a little bit in the interview, is like, he's a bit tired, right? Some of these guys are tired. They've been playing for a bit. They're on their 5th game now and are trying to, basically playing 2 games in a row. It can be hard, especially if you are playing a bit more tired than usual. That may just be enough to leave an opening for Ball State, especially if they come in on good form. Like, they're going to want a run back from last week where they took the L in a best of 5. They're going to want to prove themselves against some of these top teams in CRL.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% there, Seb. And I gotta say, the
the bully part?
of a team... No, that's fine. That's totally justified. I'm all about the bullying.
That's all.
Oh, okay, great. Hey, listen. You know what? You got your yeah. you got your dose from Ball State. I get it. I get mine from literally all of you. So it's
it is some balance there. Yeah, I didn't think going into this week it will be on 5-0 watch for Northwood, but it can definitely be a possibility. It's time for predictions. Chixel, let me start with you. Does that happen? Does Northwood go 5-0 tonight?
Well, I have them doing just that. I did predict Northwood in this one. Production was honestly surprised I didn't go with Ball State. I'm a little surprised too, but I think Northwood, again, reality check, wake-up call after Baylor taking them to 5. Creams, honestly, the rest of the Northwood team has to respect Ball State. They know what they've done before. They are generally, spoiler alert, when it comes to looking at the team of Ball State. I've looked like a clown before going against Ball State. I've talked a lot with them in that group, but I'm pretty confident this does go the distance at the end of the day, just between the fight between these two and how much we've seen the effort being put out so far this season.
Look, Northwood has been great for a long time, but Ball State has on a run, besides yesterday, I would say, Bass, that I could say they were the hottest teams in all of CRL. Do you think Ball State can get it done tonight?
Yeah, I do. And look, this is no disrespect to Northwood, but we've talked about this a lot. Every team has their day where they take at least one loss. We said it last semester where no team was going to go undefeated, and I'm going to hold to that this semester as well. And it's for a couple reasons. One, yes, Northwood do look good in that last series, but they went to 5 against Baylor. And 2, we just heard it. Creams is already exhausted. Brother, you got the gauntlet ahead of you. You cannot be a little bit tired coming into a series against Ball State, because one of the number one distinct things about Ball State is they are fast. They are aggressive. And if you have even a slightly delayed reaction to their offense, they will score on you. I've got faith in Ball State to finally shake up this undefeated streak. If I'm incorrect, so be it. I'd love to see Northwood really put on a show, but I got some faith in the Birds.
Ball State has done a lot. A lot of ink has been spilled about them, Seb, but Northwood, you can't deny the numbers. Undefeated thus far after this series. In your opinion, is to stay out of the way.
It's going to be Northwood. I don't think there's any, oh, he's tired. Oh, he's tired. You know, they had a late night. Dude, their baseline is better than Ball State. They could be, they could literally just come in on 0 sleep, and they'll still beat Ball State. I'm tired of this. Let's just go Northwood, get on with the match so we can just see this thrashing. Thank you.
Thrashing?
I mean, not happy about the anti-Canadian stuff. He's sick of it.
Listen, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be sweep because we never get sweeps anymore apparently. So I'm just gonna say 3-1.
Hey, look, I'm just making sure I underscore what you just said because I want Ball State's fans to get off of my back the last couple weeks. So he said thrashing, y'all. Let the record stay.
Yeah, screenshot this if Ball State win, and I'll take the L.
I cautiously have to agree with you, Seb. Going to go with Northwood. I mean, they've shown and proved they can hang with anyone. Fast teams, slow teams, teams that are technically better, teams that are technically below their level. They have a way to adapt and overcome. You can't deny that because flexible teams find a way to get the dub. Sorry, Baz. I mean, I guess we're not getting a sweep. We're close to it, right?
All I'm saying is we've had one 1v3 prediction so far here today on Desk, and it didn't go the way of the 3. So we'll see what happens. We got a long series ahead of us. I don't think this is going to be a short one.
That's cool.
Well, there you have it. Let's get right into it. It's going to be Northwood against Ball State. Northwood, former Kings of the Mountain, looking to forge a new throne, but they're taking on Ball State, a squad not afraid to crash the gates. It's our main event matchup of the evening, and the world is watching. This is CRL.
Can Ball State chip away at the undefeated mountain that is Northwood? We will find out. It is our 4th series. Myself and Bass in the booth. Let's get to it, man.
I'm ready for this one. No matter the winner of this, it will definitely shake up how we perceive both of these teams. Again, Northwood, while undefeated so far, definitely felt a little bit vulnerable in that last series, and you could see it. Also, do we want to acknowledge that?
No, you know what?
remotely?
I think it's actually funnier if we don't. We just treat it as seriously as possible because
Mario Kart?
I don't care.
Like the one that you got,
and it doesn't even matter because Creams will pop off with that. What is this preset? Seriously.
He's got the llama on his head too. I don't know how to feel about it. Is that the Canadian flag? Does he also have the Canadian flag?
I can't have, and I've used my Canadian bias allowance right now, so I'm not allowed to mention if he does have the flag on there or not. But I appreciate it if he does.
It is not the Canadian flag. I confirmed. I've looked at it. I'm not sure which flag it is. I apologize. I'm not the greatest at flags. Or no. Don't, come on now. It's game 1. Nobody's going to be challenging that aggressively yet. Hopefully.
Hopefully. We will see. Either way, there is a lot on the line for Ball State. I think a win over Northwood would really do wonders for the rest of their Split 2 league play. It would probably put them in contention. Yes, a loss to Concord, but we're finding out Concord is indeed a top team. But a win over Northwood would do insane for their confidence.
Yeah, this is a very capable team. Again, even if they do lose here, we have seen how good Ball State can be. Not so far, though. This is maybe the worst defense I've seen from Ball State in a minute, as both of the goals they have conceded so far have been pretty preventable.
I believe that's the Latvian flag.
I'll take your word for it.
I believe. I'll double check. But either way, Ball State struggling on the defensive end early, but that is to be expected considering that, in this case, Northwood had to play a pretty defensive team in Baylor, so they've been well practiced, well tuned, and well warmed up.
Yeah, again, that's the big thing here is that your warm-up does matter, and I do think that that's probably the best warm-up possible here for Northwood to play against a Baylor that are not only on point, but are really testing them at both ends of the pitch. So we'll see how they adjust here. I don't expect Ball State to, get shut out forever, unless they just straight up miss an open net. Okay, I don't have much of an excuse for that one. Ball State, can we please lock in?
Well, they will. I mean, it's your prediction, so I know there's a bit more on the line for you. Zanil trying to get cheeky with it, and I have confirmed that is the line with flag. So shout out to Lafayette, but Ball State have to slow things down a little bit. Try and get some space. Pass over to Wova. Not going to be able to get anything on. Oath going to hit off the corner. Wova not going to stick around to find out. Oath with a full tank. Not going to get bumped out of the way, but it will go wide.
Well, immediate follow-up, and then off the backboard it goes. No shot going to go on target so far here for Ball State, and that's probably been their biggest problem. The defense, well, starting to clean themselves up, have had multiple opportunities to strike back, and have converted on none of them. Maybe they can do something. What are we doing, brother? What is happening? What are they doing?
Ooh. How's this feeling right now, Bass? Your prediction is absolutely falling apart in game one.
Yeah, this is
it's
maybe
game
the
one.
worst version of Ball State I have ever seen. And I know I talked a lot about them being a hyper-offensive team, but they should know how to play defense. These guys have all made RLCS.
These are top teams, and these are top players. That being said, I mean, listen, it is game one. Maybe Ball State just need a chance to warm up. Again, especially Northwood. They're coming in already warmed up. They know what to do. Creams is going to go up high for this. Look for a pass down to Hockey. Maybe a redirect with a double commit.
Another double commit?
Yes, but it does the job.
I mean, that's not a high bar. I'm gonna keep it real with you right now. This needs to be cleaned up. Ball State, BK, I know you're listening right now. Try to lock your boys in, because so far the defense has been a double commit atrocity here over and over again with just this defense that doesn't seem to have much structure. And again, for a team that is usually so cohesive, so structured, it does feel weird to see this so far. 2 minutes left in game one, but this might already be a GG go next for Ball State.
Yeah, there really hasn't been anything threatening from Ball State. To be fair, Northwood has actually had a great percentage on their shots. They've put 4 shots in. Hockey's going to go in. Wova going to try and chase this down in transition, but Zanil right there for the cutoff, not able to steal the boost though.
Chance here now to maybe get some offense in a sustainable way, not just the one and done that we've seen so far from Ball State. Gonna try and take this down. Street with a 50, that won't do much. Maybe Oath can get the pass out to his teammate and finally get on the board. All it took was 3.5 minutes and not an open net.
At least for this one, it was worked for. A really well-placed challenge and a fantastic pass over to Wova. They just need a bit of time to warm up, and can't think of a better time than the last 90 seconds of a game that at least puts this game within reach if they're able to get their offense going. Oh, it's going to go up high, gets the flip reset, will be demoed. Nice shot over to Ga, will be saved by Hockey, but still dangerous as Northwood just looking to shake off this Ball State offense.
They're doing a good job at starting to get some more threatening shots. There's no guarantee so far here, but there never will be when you're playing a team like Northwood. Oh, trying for the, I think, wave dash to go steal the boost and get the shot out center. That's a good bump. That could give an opportunity now for Wobe to put it high. Daniil, no boost to work with, meaning Oath has to dive, and so does Hockey to try and clear the lanes. Teams is still there, though, and this pass out center could be a problem if not for Oath. Great save yet again, and now we're starting to see more of the best version of Ball State. It's unfortunate they had to go down by 3 to start getting here.
Yeah, I mean, if there is, I mean, it's still better time than never. Creams, what are you doing? He's playing with it so slow, but almost ends up working. Oath gonna dive in. And as long as Ball State can show up now in game one rather than just later in the best of 5, that literally is the best case scenario for them. You can shake off this game one, be like, okay, we're tired, we needed to figure this out, and then you can move on to figuring out game 2, as that will be coming up shortly. Ball State will have to take the L for this one. Northwood, solid start, good punish for Ball State's mistakes, but first win will go to Northwood.
First one goes to Northwood, and definitely an understandable one given the defense we saw early from Ball State. I don't know if there's a way we can sugarcoat that. It wasn't as if Northwood were putting out this unbelievable offense with constant pressure. It was just Ball State making mistakes in places they cannot afford to. We talked about the double commits being a huge problem for them early, and it took until about the 2 or 3 minute mark for them to stop doing that. So it's clear they made the adjustments. It just took them a full game to get there, and now they unfortunately have to start the series off 0-1.
Yeah, but I think the goal that they did get was clearly everyone getting involved. The accuracy of the passes was there, and frankly, it just looked a bit more like they were willing to outplay Northwood on the offensive end. So it forced Northwood to have to reconsider how they're going to rotate. defensively and how they're going to deal with Ball State in transition. It was a really solid play, but that's honestly all we have to go off of. The rest was just Northwood going in, punishing, and making Ball State feel bad for turning on the game this morning.
Let's calm down a little bit. The Canadian bias is showing yet again here.
No, it's not. I'm doing my job.
Yeah, no, this definitely was a game to forget for Ball State, but again, it was half a game to forget in my opinion. The back half of this game was a lot more even, a goal apiece to both of the teams through the latter 2.5 minutes, so definitely a little bit better. Creams, what are we doing here, brother? I'm gonna wait for the broadcast to show him, but I guarantee you nobody's expecting the outfit that he's in.
What is this?
The bronze decal from like season 9, bro.
I'm also thinking just what in the world? He's gonna go for the flip reset regardless, and I just wonder what the mentality is for this one. He's still willing to play for it. Zanil looking for the double tap, but it won't come through. But a great start thus far to the possession for Northwood. Coming into the second game, almost got the second touch off the corner. Oath is going to take possession, has Hockey to deal with, who's going to try and stall as long as he can, but Zanil will knock it away.
Ova, what are we doing out of midfield, brother? You missed the boost, then turn back for the boost, don't make a challenge on the ball, and now you've given away another free offense to all of Northwood. I'm getting a little concerned about Wova's play in particular right now. Not necessarily cause to like ring the alarm bells, but definitely kind of feels like a little bit of warming up here to do for Ball State. And like we said, you can't be warming up into game 2. This is go time for you, especially considering this game would be series point if Northwood can win it. So I'd find a way to respond here. You kind of have to at this point.
I just don't think Wova's expecting how aggressive Northwood is willing to play on that goal line for Ball State. I mean, it's just forcing Ball State into a defensive corner that they're not sure how to respond thus far. Hockey looking to control the midfield. Cream's going to come in, gets the pre-flip challenge. They'll be able to make it work, but no one was there to respond, so it will be a reset for Northwood.
This feels very different than the usual play we see from Ball State, not only for, like we said, a couple of lackluster mistakes here and there, but also they're a little more passive than I'm used to for this team. Oftentimes they will make that challenge not only aggressively, but quickly. I'm not really seeing that right now. That is more the usual from Wova. Challenge off the ceiling, and a good one at that to get possession. Neil, though, to try and gain some possession out of midfield. Wova, back pass to Guh. A lot of boost for both of them to play with, meaning they've got space now or not. Immediate challenge from Hockey will shut that down. The demo will continue this as a play for Ball State, or at least I assumed. How did Creams get that read? I will never know. I'm going to chalk that one up to being in the largest car in the game.
This is very dangerous. Guh had to get the pre-flip off the wall to be able to make that work. It's a pinch underneath, but no boost to speak of. Both was able to take one in transition, and now this is a 2v0. This will be the opener for Zanil to get this one going for Northwood at 250.
This is, again, more questionable challenges from Wova right now. I don't want to put all the pressure on his back, but this has definitely not been a good game for Wova. He has 14 points here through the first 2 minutes and 10 seconds. He has definitely not been involved as he should be, and I'm not sure what excuse I can give anymore. At this point in the series, you've got to lock in. It cannot continually be goals for Northwood that are just straight up freebies.
Why is Creams just continuously playing Meki in this car? It's so enjoyable to watch. The shot goes a touch wide, will be saved away. Half a game remaining. Ball State, have you warmed up enough? Will you be able to get on the board? I think they're just waiting for that midfield to get in their control so they can get locked and loaded with some boost in the tank. Get some resources ahead of you. Wova puts one on, but the possession is gone. Guh, no boost to speak of. Will just do what he can. Guh's gonna chase this one down. Not much will come of it.
Oh, that is a risky challenge from Wova. Had he not made contact, that probably would have been a counterattack and a goal from Northwood. Instead, they'll hold on to possession for at least a second longer. Long ball down to Wova. Wova won't make contact, and oh boy, I don't even want to talk about it at this point. It's feeling a bit bad. Consistently sees the same issue, and again, another free goal. Wova, flat-footed on the line, gets demoed and doesn't even react.
I just don't know what much else they could do. I mean, Creams was chasing him down, and it must have been just a 50-50 that Wova had to play, but Zanil will be able to make it work, no problem. I appreciate Guh trying to go for the cut to at least get a challenge. So 2-0 for Northwood in this game. Ball State just haven't been able to get out of their end, or at least put anything too convincing. Zanil has to chase this one down and prevent any more damage. Half flip from Guh, but Creams taking it all the way, potentially look for another, but Wova will be there.
That was nerve-wracking, considering his consistency so far throughout this series. I thought he might wait a bit too long, and considering the mechanics of Creams, he would punish. Let's see if he can. Another chance here for Creams with a reset in the bag. Oath the one to take it away this time, and Wofa will try and challenge Hockey, or maybe fake it out. Hockey looking for an extra touch off the backboard. Pass out center, though. Zanil saw that one two ways to Sunday and boops it downfield. A minute 15 to go, and so far it is still Northwood in the driver's seat, but it's more of them just punishing the mistakes. Finally, Wofa, though, dances on the line in the right way.
Good patience as well from Wofa to be able to get that on. Minute remaining. If Ball State can get on the board now, that gives them a decent chance. Anil and Wofa going to fight for the midfield. That's a rough pinch. Oh, this is going to have to chase this one, and he does! Perfect momentum to keep that one out. 45 seconds. If Ball State can get on the board, Creams pre-jumps for this one for the shot, but nothing will come of it.
Wofa got some time, space, and a whole lot of boost. What can he do with it? Gets around Creams, now needs to find a teammate. 50 against Zanil, no contact even found. And Oath, gotta be quick to this, is getting chased by Creams. Boost totals here, though, could be a big advantage for all of Ball State if they can just get an offense going. It has been momentary offenses at best right now. That's not enough against the Northwood that have proved themselves capable on either side of the pitch. 15 to play. Oath gonna try and keep this contained in the corner and pops it out center, and then nobody goes for the ball, and oh boy, the woes for Ball State continue on defense.
Oh, it's a struggle. Yeah, the last few seconds, but it just came back to a regular Northwood play of holding down that midfield line, going for individual plays, and kind of skill checking Ball State to see if they can handle what they have. But Northwood going to be able to take a 2-game lead in this series, forcing Ball State on the back foot, having to play for their lives here.
This is a weird feeling for a number of reasons. Again, we've talked about this. It's not as if Northwood is just putting out this overwhelming offense that is never, that cannot be contained. It's 8 total shots. It's a pretty normal scoreline across the board, at least in my opinion, and it just doesn't feel as if it should be, if that makes sense. This is just an odd feeling all around here, as over and over again, Ball State have their opportunities, don't do a ton with them, go back into defense, and it feels like nobody's prepared to be that star defender. They need a goalie right now, and if their goalie keeps getting demoed, if their goalie keeps making weird challenges with another one of the defenders, it's just not going to work. I hate to be this critical of Ball State, but it's clear right now they are not as coordinated as they usually are, and it is coming back to bite them.
Yeah, I know some of us, might think we're being a bit critical on Ball State, but you got to understand, for those who aren't as familiar with CRL, is that Ball State up until this point have lost very little.
Lost one series.
They've lost one series, and then throughout the entire course of opens to close qualifiers, have lost very few games. This is a very strange series from them, considering the standard that we've seen from them thus far against top teams and lower teams alike. And so we only hope that, the standard that they're playing at, which is a really high-paced offense, a lot of chemistry on the pitch, will be able to carry them across that line as we get going into Game 3. Can Ball State bring it together against a Northwood that looks to continue to be undefeated? Creams looks for the second touch. Northwood already on the offense.
Already a little nervous, too, as that miss off the backboard, while excusable because of the odd angle, is not something you can afford in a series like this, especially considering the goal differential between the two teams. That is 4-2, I believe, 5-1 overall. So very clear that if you give Northwood enough chances, they will score, and they're already getting them, like you said, here to start off our Game 3. Oh, looking for a bump on Hockey. He'll make some contact, but not enough. Good, trying to contain this one in the corner. This one will ricochet all the way out to the other end. Both the first one to this, but he takes an odd angle, and Creams will win the 50 outright because of it. Again, awkwardness here for Ball State. They're definitely playing a better start to this game, but job's not done, not by a long shot.
I think what's also insane is that despite the funky car change from Creams here, he's still willing to play that first man to get as much space on the pitch as possible, go for those individual plays that, while they might not work all the time, at least set up his teammates to be able to score. Zanil looks for something crazy, tries to force it through, go with fantastic defensive work on the challenge.
Creams knows that he has no boost, though, so he's going to try and bait him out to an awkward challenge in the corner and dunk it on the defense again. I'm not even going to point out who that was, but I'll tell you this much. Creams knows it's all him today.
Wow. Takes it from a very awkward angle, just carries it across, recognizing they got nothing in the tank. Let me just cook real quick, and he does. So, Northwood, the timer has started for them for this series. If they can maintain this lead, Ball State will be taking this L, second L in a row. It's a bit of a road though. Ball State not out of it, especially with Oath on the board, looking to breathe some life into Ball State.
This is more what we're expecting from Ball State. They may not get this every time, but this is what they are capable of, and this is more the shots that they should be going for. These mid-air challenges have not worked out for them, and although the defense has been good for Northwood, start to poke holes, force Screams to go for the in-and-out save on zero boost, force them to the backboard in awkward positions. If you can do that, you can start the comeback trail. It's not a guaranteed one by any stretch, but it's good to see some life from Ball State.
I mean, you know, if the strategy can shift over to, hey, let's just let our individuals cook. They have fantastic individual players. Let them cook. And if that's what Ball State needs to do, I mean, so be it. It might not work all the time, but if it gets you across this line for at least just one game, it could mean a shift in the series.
There's a chance, but even at that, that's their first goal in what feels like forever, and it's only for the tie. They need more to even see an overtime, or actually, well, not more for an overtime, more for the win, and then they'll need to get one in overtime. 3 minutes to go, so plenty of time for them to do so, but this is awkward. Off the backboard, there is no challenge. Wova will eventually dive, but Creams has got a full tank, and Oath knows that. He'll take that ball away very quickly, and as Zanil slides in, it's now up to Wova again. Not the greatest touch out, and that's why Oath's going to try to bail out his teammate, or excuse me, The pinch, though, will finally alleviate pressure, and Oath will chase this down.
See, decent touch as well. Zanil has to chase it down. It goes just a touch wide. Bit of a sigh of relief there from Northwood as potential disaster occurred. Good challenge, though, from Hockey. Oath will have to take care of it. Wova chases it down, but it's a bit out of reach for him. Oath will try and just prevent it from the possession to Creams, but Creams looks like it's all on him. Hockey goes up for it, but just leaves it.
Well, big demo, though, means there shouldn't be a quick follow-up, or
chase.
so I thought. The bump will change that, but the shot is off. Definitely a doable angle for Oath. He's going to want that one back, especially if Zanil punishes them here. Hockey, the shot, not even close to making it past the defense due to the not enough power, but okay,
Patience.
Ball State, you're back. You're showing you're capable. Do not give up a silly goal like you did the previous 2 games.
I mean, even looking at the comms on that defensive play with Oath, just like, all right, Gus, stay in net. I'm just going to go around the back wall. I'm going to take care of it myself. It's that kind of communication and locked-in factor that might hint at a change coming. Going to handle on the corner. Cream's going to chase down for a demo. Good 50. Creams, can you get the turnaround quick enough? He's going to try, but doesn't really have the room to breathe right now. 1:20 on the clock, and at the moment, Northwood in the driver's seat.
Well, that's a very heavy touch, and I think Zanil knows that, so he's just going to leave that one be. Pass back out to his teammate, and that is another open net. Creams punishing. If you do not give them the respect, they will make you pay for it.
And I think part of this was Hockey was just harassing Guh, not letting him complete his rotation. Creams was just given an open one. So again, the clock continues for Ball State. 1:07 to tie up this game once again.
Just to get the tie at that. Ooh, not a great challenge from Oath. Is now going to leave Wova and Guh pretty much on an island here on defense. Make it out, and Oath try to get a pass out to, I think, Wova. Wova's going to get punished for it, though. Again, just a bit behind the pace of Northwood, meaning that one was easily telegraphed. Chance here, though. Oath pops this one up high. Hockey, very awkward due to the last defender getting demoed, and nobody's there still. Ball State got to start taking advantage of these chances that are only coming far and few between.
And Oath tried. He just thought the bounce was going to be a bit different. He was trying to get a bit more aggressive, but he had no boost to speak of, which has kind of been a bit of a problem. Is the boost efficiency just hasn't been there. It gets the offensive end. There's not much to work with. Wova trying to keep Northwood at bay despite how aggressive they're being. You see the bump there from Hockey. Creams, Hockey swarming around, looking for their prey and just trying to end it all right now. A 3v0, but somehow the cut in from Zanil. The shot on again. The last few seconds will wind down. Ball State, this is your last chance. Can you stay alive? You got a decent amount in the tank. Creams gonna put this up. Oath gonna get the catch, tries to get the pinch. Hockey will be there, sends it up high. Pass over to Gus. Zanil, is he there? It's gonna bounce off the corner. Wova chases it down. Not enough. Northwood get the sweep.
Northwood get the sweep, and it kind of feels like as soon as Ball State came to life, Northwood said, all right, that's still not enough. Ball State, I gotta say, a slow start becomes the enemy of them there. It was not necessarily the worst series to end, but the start there just kind of felt like the end was already inevitable. 3 goals given up in game 1 that were all in my opinion, relatively preventable. Game 2, it's a similar feeling, and they do play Game 3 pretty close. It's a 1-goal ball game, but you're already 2 games down. You can't afford to let yourself get that far behind in a series like that, and that's the punishment that Ball State will receive. It's a weird feeling to kind of walk away from that one and go, all right, I guess.
Yeah, it's a shame, again, because, it's not that Ball State are a bad team by any means. They are a fantastic team, but this feels like an off day for them. This was not the Ball State, I think, that we've come to know, love, and really see consistently. I mean, this is a team that has taken down a lot of great people, plays a resurging Concord to 5 games, and has historically been just a really solid team. We saw flashes of it here and there, but it was Northwood just playing with their food a little bit, just maybe Ball State a little bit slow, and by the time they got going, it was too little too late.
Yeah, it very much was that. Again, I can't, there's not really an excuse for the first 2 games of that one for Ball State. It really just wasn't the caliber we've seen them play. And it's not necessarily to sit here and go, well, Northwood, they didn't deserve. No, they do. It's Northwood. They're undefeated at this point. They absolutely deserve a win in an instance like that. It's just more us hoping that Ball State would have played them a little bit closer, would have played them more to the capabilities we know. Because I think the single flash of true Ball State power was Oath hitting that double. And that was the singular one we saw through 15 minutes of play.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where for Northwood, this is the kind of Northwood match that gives me flashes of old, right? Where they would come into a league play, they would have fun, they would play wonky, they would just control you and play as if they're pugging. And it really, even though Ball State is a fantastic team, they felt as if they were playing a qual team. And that's the kind of level of Northwood that I'm terrified of, because we had that for years and years and years. And if this is going to continue against some of these top teams, I don't know, man. Well, champs might be cooked.
I don't know. Northwood still got some tests in front of them, but they've definitely taken on some of the toughest competition and have been able to rise against it so far. I believe the only teams they've got left are, let's make sure I'm correct on this, OC and St. Clair. So St. Clair is definitely going to be their biggest test. How funny would it be if OC do it again, though? Just one more time. Be upset that nobody anticipated. Why not here? It wasn't BSU, as we have learned. So let's bring in the rest of the desk here to talk a little bit more about it. As the Ball State prediction did not work out, but I think similarly, did any of us have Ball State playing like that on the cards?
I do, but I'm afraid to say it out loud anymore.
Actually, that's the bad question to lead to you.
How many times, Bass? How many times? But you know what? I'm going to keep it positive because it's CRL, man.
You're on the desk.
I just want to say, having an undefeated season thus far, seeing going 5-0, it really made each of these series have some impact. Chicks, I want to start with you. When you're watching that series right now, the whole world's watching Northwood. Can anyone take them down?
I think they still, again, the scare against Baylor certainly showed they do have their weaknesses. And, if they're not playing full 100%, which I even don't think they played their full 100% this last series, they are open. Presets?
You don't think they're playing 100%?
That may have been a little bit of a factor in there that may have judged their seriousness level in that series. I questioned, but they still, outscored their opponent 7-2 ultimately at the end of the day. Ball State only scored twice the entire series, and that is not going to work in any retrospect. You need at least three goals minimum to win each game 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. So Ball State needs to score more. They need to be more proactive, less reactive. Northwood did what they had to do. They held them. They didn't allow Ball State really any room, any opportunity to play. And as much as the preset's a meme, okay? The preset's a meme at the end of the day. But when you're Ball State and you see that too, you have to feel a little offended. And that may have played even another major mental factor at the end of the day.
Well, that's absolutely true. For more on that, I hope you ask more meme card questions. So take it away. You're going to have that interview with Creams right now. We'll love to see what the thoughts are after having a series back-to-back victories here on stream today.
Well, Creams, have you again on in the booth. I guess first question, you have to answer it. Why the cars? What was the decision in that process?
It's been a long day and I'm tired, so I just thought let's just have some fun,
Yeah, that would wake you up, being in a weird car, make you focus more because the hitbox is that much more difficult to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. I see the room has gotten darker and darker this day too, so I can feel you getting sleepy with me. So just work with me a little bit longer. Talk me through that series. It seemed pretty easy for you guys. Did Ball State, really not surprise you at all? Did you not have to make any adjustments?
I think compared to the first series, I think it was just 9 day. I think Ball State's better than that Baylor roster, and we didn't go into Baylor locked in or even calming with energy or anything. So we just went into that series with energy, and that's what the first series should have looked like. But we just played our game and actually locked in and wanted to win instead of the way we played in Baylor's series.
All right, so you guys are 5-0. You're currently undefeated. No one was able to go undefeated last split. How are you feeling the remainder of the split that you have? Are you having any worries? Are you currently still as confident as you always are? Talk me through that.
We're definitely confident, but obviously St. Clair's a good team, and OKC can always pull off the upset as we saw last semester. They did it to keep us in. But at the end of the day, our league play record is not what's on our mind. We just want to go into the championship, and anyone we play is going to be good, but it doesn't matter who we play. They're all going to be around the same caliber, so we just got to be... We're not that worried about our record is what I'm saying.
That's good. Yeah, it's pretty safe to say you guys have almost clinched going to championships. How are you feeling moving forward about that? Is there going to be a different level of seriousness and of focus going into, of course, our final weekend and fall semester?
I think the focus is going to be the same. Every series we've played, except for that Baylor series, we've been locked in, we've been playing our game, and that's why we're winning compared to the first split. So I think it's just keeping the same momentum and wanting to win, putting in the effort and not just slacking. Because that's the only reason we drop down, is because we don't put in that effort and don't care as much. So it's just keeping it, all three of us locked in, especially, and our coach Nick, locked in, ready to play on game days.
Absolutely. So I guess I'll leave the floor open to you. I know you want to get some sleep. Any last words, thoughts, trash talk, or just ready to get going for the night?
No trash talk. I'm ready to get going, but shout out my team, shout out production, shout out the casters. Thank you guys. It's fun to be here every Sunday and Saturday.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Creams. You go get some rest, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Wow, not being lazy and locking in. Keys to victory. How about that? Bass, man. Creams was cool as a cucumber, able to do meme cars and get the dub. I didn't think it was going to happen, but made it look pretty easy here today.
Yeah, this is, again, if Northwood plays to the level at which we know they can, they are the #1 team in Collegiate Rock League. Full stop, period, end of story. They are a very, very talented team, and we kind of saw that in this series, but simultaneously, I still don't really know what to make of their Baylor series here. Again, they did lock in Game 3. You could see the change, and they still got pushed to 5. For reference, by the way, because I know the audience has kind of been like, why are they hyping up Ball State so much? For reference, Ball State beat Baylor 3-1, better than Northwood beat Baylor. So they are very capable of a team, even if they did not show that here today. And I will make no defense of Ball State. They did not show that here today.
Seb, I love watching Champ League, and your rankings are so close to mine, so I know they're legit. After today, after seeing what Ball State said they were planning to do and what actually happened, I'm not saying do a ranking right now, but what is your thought about the team moving forward the back half of the split?
What is my thought of the team before the back half of the split? I listen, in our ranking, we always have a 1, right? The 1 rule, which is 1 rule where you say this was a weird series, they are not playing themselves, and they take an L. I would attribute this the 1 rule. This is a Ball State that was playing weird. They were not playing to the caliber that we've seen from them. If it was 3-1, or if it was even closer, Bass and I were
2 goals.
I know. But if Bass and I were in the booth and we're looking at how they're playing, and it's like, this is not Ball State. This is not the Ball State we know. And for me, I think this is going to be a good chance for them to just mentally reset. They have a lot of matches coming up with a lot of different styles teams. They know what they need to do, and they worked very, very hard to get here. All of the opens, all of the close qualifiers, they've worked very hard to get here. Now it's on them to show that they can compete while they're here.
have to agree, but a win's a win, is a loss, a loss. Ball State took the L in that fourth competition. Take a look at today's results here. We had 4 really high impact matchups, and our nightcap did not disappoint. Chicksa, let me ask you, what was the series that stuck out for you the most?
It has to be the Northwood Baylor game that went to 5. It's unquestionably like the one that sticks out the most, the one that has us questioning. It's hard to decipher why it went exactly to where it went. Is it partly on Northwood's front? Is it partly on Baylor's front? We've talked a bunch about it today, but it was the biggest shock by far across the day.
Bass, I know if you want to talk about the topsy-turvy Winthrop season, but I gotta ask, which squad, if you had to pick, would be kind of hitting the panic button, Oklahoma Christian or West Virginia?
West Virginia, for sure. Look, the expectations for Oklahoma Christian, I think, are kind of set in stone at this point, which is very similar to Baylor. They are a team that will consistently make it back into CRL play. There's a lot of other teams out there that are very talented, but they are not of the caliber, I would say, of Baylor or Oklahoma Christian right now, and thus they are the gatekeepers to this league play format. West Virginia should not be gatekeepers. They should be at the top of this format, as they did in the previous split. To see them 0-3, I'm not going to state that their semester is done. There is obviously a turnaround period that they are capable of, but even if they win out the rest of their game, the best they get is 4-3, and with a resurgent Northwood, resurgent Concord, resurgent St. Clair all playing well, there's a chance that even if they do get that 4-3, they still don't make it into playoffs. So West Virginia, they've been put on notice. They have been, like I said earlier with, a couple of teams, it's not time to sound the alarm bells. Absolutely is for West Virginia. It is time for them to sound every alarm they have got on campus.
Talk about championships, fall championships on the horizon. Take a look at league play standings as it is right now, and no one could predict this. I know a couple weeks ago we kind of joked about being an 8-way tie, but I did not see this one coming. Seb, talk to me. Who was the one that really overperformed, and who made you go, dang?
I mean, legitimately, of the past 2 days that we've had in this doubleheader, one, Northwood, I think the fact that they were struggling to even stay in the top 4 in the previous split, and now to be completely snowplowing over everyone right now is incredible. Also, I'm not going to glaze St. Clair right now. I've already done that. But Concord?
You never.
No, Concord is impressive. This is legitimately getting impressive. This is reminiscent of Concord of old. And if they're able to lock in for the back half of Split 2, get the big tier wins that they need to, they're going to be a legitimate threat for the fall championship.
Real quick, I do want to point out, in outside leagues as well, we talked about this, there was a LAN going on this weekend in which both Concord and St. Clair were participating. Concord also took a 3-1 win over St. Clair in that outside league, so it is not the same as doing it here in CRL, but it's clear Concord are not only capable of winning against most of the competition, they can beat the best of the competition as well.
And definitely. And I love the fact that besides main CRL, a lot of these teams are going off these side quests. And speaking of side quests, the 2v2 Open 2 registration is closed, but the actual action is happening this Wednesday, November 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern. 2v2 doubles the thinking person's game, I should be honest with you. One I'm really terrible at, but I love watching when college teams kind of switch up their tactics. And so make sure you check that out when you have some time. Well, as we wind this down here today, I gotta say, this split has been absolutely banana. Chicksa, final thoughts coming from you.
Yeah, obviously League Split 2, very different from League Split 1. I think that 4th and final spot is going to be heavily contested. I already see 3 or 4 teams that have the potential of pulling out for it, and it's going to be very interesting. Again, game differential is going to play a major factor on who moves on forward, so every game matters, and it's showing that these teams understand just how important the end of this semester really is.
Bass, the floor is yours.
Not much else to say besides watch the 2v2s on Wednesday and make sure to tune into CRL on Sunday. It is our final broadcast before we get ready for the championship. Everything will be decided in just about a week's time. And again, if you are new to the CRL scene, I encourage you to keep up with the socials all across the board here. You can see the ads down below. But we are tweeting more about CRL than I think ever before. All of us are constantly talking about this. And if you want updates to the off-season or the off-stream games, as well as just what's going on around the scene, I encourage you to dive even further into it, the CRL community is an awesome one. It has been an awesome time to see how it has not only developed throughout this semester, but just throughout time overall. Again, I love CRL. I'm honored to be able to be here, and I hope that all of you continue on for the ride. It has been such a fun semester.
Not for nothing, the CRL discourse on Twitter and other social media has just been impressive. Like, even if you were a neutral watcher, observer of Rocket League, that's changed. You have teams, you have players you love, and all that stuff. Seb, final thoughts of the evening.
I mean, every single time we come into this booth, we're treated with some new story, really top-tier gameplay from professionals who are choosing to pursue an education and want to represent themselves and represent their school. And CRL is such a unique place for that. It's the best across all of esports. I don't care what anyone says. So follow, of course, the channel. Follow the scene as well. If for those of you who stuck around specifically for CRL gameplay, I really, really love you a lot. You guys are continuing to make this community amazing and what it is today. So thank you so much.
You heard the man himself. I also echoes those things. We'll be back next week, next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern with week 4 of League Play for Split 2. It is going to be an absolute grand old time. Bring some friends, bring some enemies as well. But until next time, catch you guys later.
Let me hit you with the bleed blue. Let me hit you with the